afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures, little change so far this morning as we saw the big rally Monday, having trouble to see any kind of continuation this morning ahead of the first U.S. presidential debate coming up this evening in Cleveland. Start of Major League Baseball playoffs coming up this evening as well. So lots to watch after the markets close tonight. We have a little bit of concern once again this morning, some question marks around continued spiking COVID-19 cases globally. Monday's rally also comes ahead of the start of the next earnings season coming up on Thursday. We'll get an early look aftermarket tonight from the semiconductor group as Micron is set to report fiscal fourth quarter results aftermarket tonight. We're also watching mobile payment provider Square. Shares are higher this morning on a couple of upgrades. We have Google's parent Alphabet moving this morning along with Fitbit. Looks like they're going to get EU antitrust approval for their potential acquisition of Fitbit. Oracle and Zoom teaming up on some integration this morning with their technology. And we're also watching Walmart as Walmart Canada set to order 3 times as many semi-trucks from Tesla. We'll talk about that coming up. It's Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. We go look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Pretty mixed showing here. You can see China, both markets were in negative territory. We'll flip over to Europe and see how things are shaping up. Yeah, more mixed results here so far in the European landscape. Let's go to North America, see how things are looking so far heading towards the open here. All 3 major U.S. indexes in the red. We have the TSX to the downside. Brazil's open trading higher. Bitcoin to the downside this morning. Crude oil also 0.6% to the downside, and gold back in positive territory, guys. The day has come. It's officially U.S. presidential debate night, and it's also, I was reading this morning, I didn't even know this, but Neil, the Yankees are playing the Cleveland Indians in Cleveland, where the debate is also taking place tonight. So going to be a pretty exciting night in Cleveland, I guess.
Yeah, as long as the Yankees lose, I mean, that's fine by me. Look, obviously, it's going to be a big day. Everyone's excited by it. We'll see if the ratings top the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with no, but certainly everyone's going to be paying attention to it. You can't get too far away from it. There's obviously going to be some implications, of course, when it comes to the markets and who wins the election, but that's about as far as we'll go. Today's action, I feel like we're going to be jumping right back into some of the EV names. You'll see from the watch list, you do have some players. There's Walmart with a couple of pieces of news because they're also looking to expand in India as well. So they could be on watch. There should be a lot to look for. A couple of direct listings tomorrow that we'll definitely be paying attention to. But today, Sean, I'm going to be a happy camper because I get to trade the markets. Then I get to watch the Jays hopefully win, and then I get to watch the debate. So it's going to be an awesome day.
I just bet the Jays plus 200 on the series. We'll see. Ryu coming tomorrow, I think. Today is Shoemaker?
Shoemaker.
I have no idea who these guys are. Okay, Beyond Meat, I just want to give that one to you here. A booming move. Walmart rolling out, I guess, their portable meat product there. They have the new picnic thing. They have frozen patties and whatnot. Look at Beyond Meat. Thank God. I almost sold this stock yesterday thinking that it was a little bit too high up. But yeah, Beyond Meat right now, 160, making new highs, and that looks like we'll be putting that on the radar. This is not on our watch list, but hopefully you have subscribed. Hit that link in the chat, watch us, tradertv.live. We're about to go over it, but here's Beyond Meat looking to take out 163, which is its recent high, and then all-time highs of, not all-time highs, we went parabolic back when it first IPO'd, but recent all-time highs here, yearly highs, 167 and change. So Beyond Meat here, Brendan, I know you see the news, a big rollout up to 160, 150 here.
Yeah, a little late to announce this morning, right at 9 a.m. You can see here, guys, 9 a.m. 4 minutes ago, we had Beyond Meat. Yeah, the Walmart's going to triple distribution of the company's burgers to 2,400 Walmart locations nationwide. So, yeah, definitely positive for Beyond Meat. We'll have a look at that coming up in a couple of minutes here. This is what's coming up a little bit later on in the show. It is that day. We're so excited. We recorded it last Wednesday. Valeria is going to give us a little bit of a look on her backstory, where she came from, talk about her hometown over in Russia, and how she ended up here in Canada. So you can have a look at that coming up at about 11:45, 11:50. Valeria. We'll have the link for you in the chat. Speaking of Valeria, let's go over and say good morning to her.
Good morning, Brandon, and hello, everyone. I wish you a great trading day. Please subscribe to this channel, share the link with friends, and smash the like button. Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah, let's jump right into things here, guys. Why don't we have a look at Beyond Meat, guys? If you're just joining us, there's still a number of people just coming in, joining us on the stream this morning. So we'll touch on the news here again just at 9 o'clock here. Beyond Meat, guys, coming out, or Walmart coming out saying that they're going to triple distribution of Beyond Meat burgers to more than 2,400 Walmart locations. So as Sean was mentioning, not on our watch list this morning, but definitely should be, guys. Let's have a look maybe at Beyond Meat to start.
Yeah, I mean, we just did talk about it. I hit this little logo here. Thank you to, I can't remember that dude's name. What was that guy's name? We had one guy here. What was his name? Ivan, there we go, who developed a great little animation there and since changed. But okay, just looking at Walmart here, I know you're talking about Beyond Meat. I just want to see if that affected Walmart stock, and it has not. But yeah, that's great. Thank you for clarifying that, Brendan. Triple right now what they were expecting. Look, Beyond Meat, if you're going to be in this space, we talked about it before. There's Tyson Foods. There's a few IPOs coming, that have come that are around the nutrition and this whole switch away from meat into this lifestyle. And I think it's a fantastic move. Apparently, it's great for the environment, although there are some issues, obviously, with Beyond Meat and that as well. If you're educated on that topic, you know that there is some estrogen and whatnot issues about farming and things. But nowhere like the meat. Here we go, 161, man. This is a monster move. I had no idea this would be the effect. I think, honestly, at this point, guys, this might be worth fading. This 7% up just seems like, there it is. Hold on, the daily chart, we've already called it up. We're already breaking this 163. It looks like we'll get up to there right now. I think this is probably worth fading, but if we don't, you have 167 in your sights. I just think 163, 164, that seems a little high for me right now. Not that we're pulling back anytime soon, but wow, what a big move up here for Beyond Meat. I would just say I'd look to go short on this one once it opens up and see if we get a little bit of a pullback. Yeah,
I'm looking here at the 22nd. That's like 162.55, or that's the top right now. If it can't hold that one, I'm going to probably roll into a short. You mentioned Walmart there, and there was multiple positive stories already on Walmart. So for it not to be moving at all, obviously this is more of a Beyond Meat story. I'm going to be watching Walmart to see if there's any action. It's just disappointing. 22,000 shares, expansion in India, you get this story as well, and no movement whatsoever in Walmart. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, doing absolutely nothing in the pre-market. It was Walmart Canada that said they're going to triple their order of Tesla's new semi-truck as well. So we'll talk about Tesla coming up here. Square, guys, let's start with Square up 5% yesterday, or 5+% on Monday. Couple of upgrades on Square this morning. So trading again up another percent and change here in the pre-market on decent volume for Square.
Yeah, I just looked back actually before we came on. I looked at my trading account in my own personal, and I realized I wanted to find out what price I sold it at. I sold it at 154 last week. So not a great sell last week for me on Square long term, but we were in at a great price. I'm looking at this 164.50 honestly, just to take it out. And I think that 116,000 shares, it's not a whole bunch, but we do like upgrades. It makes sense, obviously, in this marketplace. The coronavirus wave 2, wave 3, who knows how many waves are coming. They get an upgrade here from Credit Suisse and Wolf Research, going from 160 to 175. So, I mean, it's not a huge upgrade. And again, it's not up huge, so that makes a lot of sense. It's a little bit of a light day here for the watch list and for moving stocks. So I do think that Square can get some attention. Yesterday's high was 164.50 before pulling back and then making it back up again. So I think we can get going, man. Right off the open yesterday, 160 up to 164. That was $5 on limited news. So today we have a little bit more news. Check the NASDAQ, though. We're negative on the NASDAQ and positive on Square. So once again, watch out for this 164.50. I think it's a decent opportunity to go short if it fails at 164.50. Let's wait for the break, and then if we come back through, that's when I think the big trade will be there.
Yeah, I love that setup. And well, the best part about it, too, is like anyone eyeballing that pre-market high might be looking at that long at 30, and then if it turns around at 50, that's just more people running to the exit. So that's a trade I only look at 9:30, not necessarily a pre-market trade. I don't think it's going to be worth it on only 100,000 shares and a bit of a spread.
Came in this morning, sat down, and saw Fitbit on the Gap Up list this morning, which was kind of interesting. We haven't talked about Fitbit in quite some time, but news this morning that Google's parent Alphabet is set to receive EU antitrust approval for their potential deal to buy Fitbit. This is going back to November of last year. So this has been in the works, guys, for almost a full year now. $2.1 billion deal, potential deal to acquire Fitbit. Remember, it's $7.35 cash per share. On Fitbit, we're up 4.7% here. There's still, it's worth noting, there's still other approvals that need to come through for this deal to get done. So we are a little ways away here from that $7.35 price. This is $7 here, but definitely doing higher than normal volume here, guys, in the pre-market.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look to first fade it just because it's like December 23rd is going to be a decision. And like you said, other approvals still have to happen. So there's a lot to still go here. So it running past 7 would seem a little bit unlikely, so I'm going to fade in front of that 7 even. Not much else to see. I mean, usually it might settle into like a 10, 15 cent range. Maybe you get a little bit more than that today, but unless you're capturing spread with direct market access, not much to go on. And it has turned around $7 each time there's been some positive news relating to the deal.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about it. If I was actually Fitbit, I would be looking to cancel this deal. Quite frankly, I think they could probably, with today's environment, probably get more than the 750 or 725 or 715 cash than they have. But 4.5 million shares, it looks like it's pretty good. 695 high, 680 bottom. It's not going to be my cup of tea, but if the volume is there, I mean, we'll be silly not to trade it. So let's just see the reaction. Obviously, the EU is great. Neil just dropped some dates there. So the closer we get to that date, obviously, the more firm this deal will become. And then we can start trading it to make a market make on it right now, but I don't know. I just think it can move, and the amount of shares that you'd have to trade to make any decent money on this one, probably not really worth it. So I'm going to wait to market make on it once the deal's more finalized.
All right, guys, we'll look at some of the EV makers once again. Tesla shares lower this morning, had a decent session yesterday. We gapped higher, kind of held that gap throughout the day. It did fade off throughout the afternoon, but was still higher on the day. Monday, Walmart Canada, as we mentioned, out this morning, saying they're going to more than triple their order for Tesla's 18-wheeler semi-truck, a deal that could be worth as much as $3.5 billion. This is all part of Walmart's global initiative to be emission-free by 2040. So a nice deal for Tesla, or a potential deal, but Tesla not really doing anything here, guys.
It was just, very, very weak sideways action on Tesla, yesterday. So you see that, the sort of positive news, I guess, coming in, and market not exactly reacting to it in such a strong fashion. It makes it feel like it's going to be an interesting sell day in Tesla. First thing I'll look for is, this sort of double top, and like I said, it was choppy action Tesla, but 424 did hold. If we're going to be trading below that price, I think between 20 and 24 could be an entry into a short position. If it takes out the bottom, this 410, you did get that massive move that we did see last week off the bottom when it broke down to like 360. So that day stalled at 400. The next day we came in 410 was the high. If we break back below that price, I really feel like Tesla could get one of those little sell-offs. Ideally, I'd like to short a little bit of a pop on this news, given the fact that it hasn't been received all that well by the markets. That would be into 24. Otherwise, it's that 410 breakdown.
Yes, I was just looking here, and I just got some JE. We'll talk about that stock in a minute. Reverse split. So JE is not up 2,500% or whatever someone put in the chat there. Tesla, yeah, down 1.6% right now, 1.16. Obviously, we've already talked about this. You see the market is down. So Tesla, again, seems to be a barometer with the NASDAQ, although it obviously moves itself and moves a hell of a lot. The beta is high with this one. 410's held a couple times. I don't know why my chart's not loading to the backside here, so let's just call up a quick daily chart here. 410, you can't see it on this because of the reverse split either, but 410 is held numerous times. When we broke it, it was nasty. So let's look to see if it holds it again. 410 was the high yesterday. Let's call it 408, 409 there. So I like that. I think if you can get back into that area, then we will load up the long a little bit here, 412s, 413s, something like that. But let's just watch this market. Remember, it is Debate Tuesday here. So I don't know if Tesla is going to be in anybody's radar for any kind of debate talk today. The 6 topics are already laid out. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, they'll be talking a little bit about the economy. economy. But we're not going to put the NASDAQ directly in, the deer's eyes right now. We're going to wait on it. But I like 410 on Tesla. Let's load up a little bit before that level.
All right, guys, another NASDAQ name. Yeah, a little change this morning as well. Zoom shares positive now, but they were negative to start this morning, up about 0.5% at this point. They announced with Oracle they're going to combine some of their technology, so integration on both sides with Zoom and on Oracle's technology platform to help more advertisements, video capabilities, conferencing, things of that nature. So Zoom back on the watch list this morning, guys, but as I said, not really doing a heck of a lot. We just broke, though, 490 here, which was that resistance area yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a couple of things to look at. Of course, the psychological 500 level. That was a bit of a chop zone if you go into the afternoon. So I'm looking at both this 490, which just got broken, but more importantly, at that 500 level. You did have a lower high put in, in yesterday's session, right in the morning. It ramped to the upside, tried to get to 530, which was at top, and failed at 520. Now, that means to me it could be another situation where you're shorting a pop here. The market sort of down slightly here, and if you're gonna catch a breakthrough 500, I think maybe that's a scalp into a lower high. My first look will be to see if it levels off shy of that 520 level. It just means that it's failed to the upside again, and there could be a bit of a scalp trade. So my first look in Zoom is going to be if it does make a break of 500, where does it turn around? 490, I did have it written down, but if it's already going to be going back and forth through in the pre-market, I'll stay away until we make an opening range.
Yeah, Zoom just continues to be one of those names that as long as we're in this environment, I think it's just going to continue to work. We've talked about the valuation numerous times. It's obviously through the roof. So you're just going to have to trade momentum today. 68,000 shares, not great. Spread 50 cents, not bad. So yeah, we'll look at that. I mean, they've already announced this. At their earnings report in their conference, they announced that they were going to be getting into more space, cell phones, long distance packages, things like that, just into the communication space. It's a great take for Oracle, I think. Although Oracle, I looked at it, it's not really moving. When they can, make some business with, the leading telecommunication provider right now, as far as people making Zoom meetings, I think that this is a good one for Oracle. So let's watch some Oracle movements here. This is a 5-minute chart. We'll drop this down to 1 just to have a quick look to see if anything's happened. And nothing's happened on that news, but again, I do like it for Oracle. I think that there's a good possibility that this plus and or TikTok makes Oracle a decent long-term shot right now at these levels. So again, we'll trade Zoom today. I do like that psychological 500 level. It's held 480 a couple times, so we'll look at 480 as well.
Let's talk about Nikola, guys. Down 54% heading in today since the Hindenburg short seller report came out. We'll have a look at the stock here in a second. But the big news this morning, the GM deal, a spokesperson for GM out after market yesterday saying that there are still continuing discussions between the two parties. The deal is set to close tomorrow, so it hasn't actually been finalized or closed yet. So a little bit of speculation this morning online as far as whether or not this may or may not even happen now, given what has taken place over the past couple of weeks for Nikola.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Milton also in fire today. We saw that news as well. So I think it's just questioning management right now. It doesn't seem like they had the right leader behind them. Hopefully Mary Barra from GM can get this all figured out, and they'll hopefully come up with an announcement tomorrow. If you're long the stock, you want the GM deal to go through. There was talk, I guess, was for BP last week as well, that they were also looking at the technology. So it makes me think that whether or not Nikola's drawings were former CEO Trevor Milton's or not, whether or not Nikola is going to be the future of electric cars and hydrogen and things like that, that is still to come. I think obviously the stock price has been beaten up due to Hindenburg and the short sellers, and then the CEO himself not doing, making some missteps as character-wise. So yeah, you're going to see Nikola probably get hammered again today. The all-time low on this thing, I think, was made yesterday at 1825. So down here, we did break. I don't know if we got to 1788 or not, but down here, pretty big low for Nikola. If I can find the 52-week high, I'll get it to you. Low. It says 1020, but that was pre.
There was a trade down to 16, like there was on the 24th, right at the open. It ticked down to 16 and just immediately recovered. So it was like one little wick down if you come to here. But realistically, that 18 Sean's talking about on volume, that's going to be the actual support level. It's going to be hard for me to stay away from an $18 break today. It's been sideways a few sessions in a row, but it's consolidating lower here as I see it. So an 18 break short, I'm going to have Nikola to that south side when it happens.
All right, guys, let's go to Virgin Galactic. Huge monster move on Monday, 24% to the upside on Monday. Multiple analysts out with positive notes on space in regards to the potential or possible positive potential of space travel coming up with their final test set for sometime between now and the end of the year. So Virgin Galactic, I just had a look at it. We are a little bit off the highs here from pre-market, but 21, decent level to watch here, guys.
Yeah, we talked about Virgin Galactic yesterday. We'll call up SPCE right now. Yeah, great call by our guest trader last week, talking about Virgin Galactic and getting that one and really just hammering it to the long side. He talked about some of these test flights that were coming through, and that's why we're going to give a confetti to some of our viewers, that you guys continue to impress us with the knowledge and some of the ideas that you have. So we're going to give a shout out. Unfortunately, I forget the kid's name, but it was a fantastic call there on Virgin. And the thing about it is, look, I said this yesterday when we were trading it. We traded it yesterday. We traded it really well. We played some of the breaks, 19, 20, so on and so forth. Now it looks like we're going to have to try 21. You saw the movement yesterday, and this is what we're talking about. There's that break early, right? 18 up to 18.95, 20 up bucks, back down. Then here it breaks. You eventually break 20 up here, and not much action after that until the close. So I'm wondering if it's a little bit overbought at these levels. You're up approximately, what is it, 30% since last week's bottom was 15. Today we're at 21. So yeah, $6 on 15. So you're just shy of 30% there in a week. So I think that's probably a little bit overdone. Yesterday's high is right here, 2078. That's right where we're at. Before I throw to you, Neil, we did not look at this yet. I don't even, here it is. I was gonna say I don't see it major on here, but 200,000 isn't bad. We're at 1.1 million. So there are some B's for Brendan here on the board today. So watch out for that. The bank's on a sell as well. Bank of America, the only one. But yeah, space. Let's see what it does around yesterday's high and then the pre-market high of 2111.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones to get to. A couple of the little lithium miners back to the upside this morning that we talked about yesterday. There's that Lithium Americas, there's Westwater Resources and WPX Energy. This is all in the back of that Piedmont deal with Tesla. They signed a 5-year deal. We talked about it yesterday to supply Tesla with lithium. So LAC, WWR, there's WPX and PLL. All those little lithium miners. Big lots out this morning, higher in the pre-market. That was, they increased their current quarter guidance ahead of earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. Let's talk about Sorrento Therapeutics, though. Yeah, that's big lots, guys. We'll shift over to Sorrento Therapeutics. The company said they're Coviguard and also Covi-AMG. So they're antibody vaccines or potential vaccines, both showing positive results in preclinical trials. So they're looking to get FDA approval for a clinical trial ASAP. So we've looked at it before, but SRNE, guys.
This is not the first time we've seen Sorrento make a move like this. Obviously, it's only 5%, so it's not a tremendous amount. The levels I'm going to look at here, just quickly show you the 15. You do have last week's price action at 11.15, 11.30, as well as a couple of double tops. So the fact that trying to gap on these news into those levels has not gotten through. I'm going to be looking to fade off either one. I think in terms of a breakout trade, if that's what you're looking for, I'm waiting for that top on the 17th to get taken out. That's 11.30. Otherwise, I'll be short in front of it first off of an 11 even area, and then of course you have the 11.15, 11.30. I think you got to give it some room here. It's not a gigantic gap to the upside, and it already made a multi-day run anyway. So I'm going to look to fade it first off those levels from last week, and then if it breaks 11.30, I'll reverse from the short to the long.
All right, I'm relogging back in. I was trying to get the guy's attention, but you got to throw back to Brendan.
All right, guys, yeah, we'll keep going here. Let's bring in Arun. We'll have a look at the overall market here, see what levels we need to be aware of. As far as the futures are concerned, we saw the positivity Monday to start the week. Coming in this morning, a little bit weaker. I mean, we're kind of stuck in a range here, but yeah, there's Arun. Back to the downside, even really possible here today, Arun?
Yeah, it's a possibility, of course, in any market. But 40 going down to 20. The level I'm looking at is 33.20. I think between 40 and 20, there's a ton of action from yesterday that we can use as a buy point. Of course, there's some overnight pressure on the sell side, so I want to wait until the open to see what we've still got down there, test it, see what we've got left. If there's enough, then I'll step in, take a long. And of course, 65 is the top end, which is the pre-market high. So I'm going to mark off the top at 33.65 and 33.20 on the bottom end. And between 40 going down to 20, I'm looking to see how much buying is left. If there's enough to set up properly, then I'll step in and go ahead and try to catch a move in front of that 20 level using that support zone all the way from 40 going down. Overnight pressure is negative. So the reason I've marked off the 33.65 is if we get above 50 and fail again, I'm open to taking the short as well, putting up 15 points in risk with 33.65 as a stop. I think between 50 to 65 and 40 going down to 20 are the points or the zones to look for trades. In between, I'm just going to be waiting and patiently and see what the market's going to do after the open.
Yeah, I think that's, thanks, Arun. I think that's key for today and going to be possibly the story for today, kind of patience and wait and see what happens as far as the overall market is concerned. Let's talk about micro caps. This one's really tiny. Aptorum APM on the NASDAQ was a lot higher than 547%. This thing got as high as $29 in the pre-market. We are now trading at $9. So big move, obviously, off the highs to the downside. They're spinning off a biopsy unit, so they're going to create a secondary company. But monster volume on this move in the pre-market this morning. Want to see what happens at 9 here. There's a little resistance at 9, and then you can see $10 above that and $10.50 significant levels above that for APM. Very hard to find locates on this one, it seems like this morning, but anything below this 7. I mean, this thing was $1 yesterday, guys.
Yeah, you got to watch for that one to go squeeze central to the upside. Obviously, it's come back so far, but it's worth a watch. You mentioned, we mentioned, lithium miners there. WWR, one of the ones we actually had some locates on. I just saw the sideways consolidation. It was up over 30%. It's only 30 now, but you saw it get to like $4. And the second I see it reject off of this, off of that level, come back down below this 340 on the daily, I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to go short? I see consolidation around this 270, 275 area. I just jumped in here at 60s. I'd probably add one time if I can. Going into the market open, 275 is going to be my out. I then probably wouldn't touch it till about 3:30 again, but just trying to get this one back southbound. 197 was a previous close price, so that's where I'd like to get this one short down towards that 2 even area. That's going to be the name of the game. We mentioned a couple of these high flyers. I mean, USEG also is a small cap that you're probably watching and seeing it up 300%. It's about to test again, and already made a big move back to the downside, but it's about to test up again at this like 2260 area. A little crazy action. If it goes through there, I would expect some halts and some parabolic movers. But if I had shorts, I'm going to keep continuously check them. I want to be fading off of that pre-market high 2250 if I can, but that just screams breakout and squeeze if it gets through that 2250. So careful if you're trading USEG. That one could be a bit of a wild one. And for those of you that are asking, I think, Sean, you mentioned JE, but I don't know if we had a second to get into it. I see it all over the chat. Guys, 33-1 reverse split here. So no, you're not up like a gazillion dollars on this stock. It's as usual, if you have a reverse, it's starting to come back in. So trading right around its lows, the short might not be done. This corresponds to like, I don't know, like 22 or 23 cents a share. So, you know, make sure you look that one up. We were trading this one when it was in the 30s and 40s and shorting it the last couple of sessions.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at 710 here as the bottom so far today. So we'll look at that. Of course, it's tradable in Toronto as well. So, but I'll be trading it in New York here. JE, yeah, 711, 710. There's actually nothing on the imbalance locator. I thought that there would be today, but maybe because of the split, there's nothing on there, and we'll see it tomorrow, but we'll wait to see. Fitbit with a buy off the open, Nokia Space, GE, XOM with a sell. XOM just continues to get pumped, although yesterday was a decent day for XOM. Let's check out XOM quickly. You could see, if it will load up, there we go. Yesterday, we did open up, or we closed the day before 34.59. We ripped all the way up to $36 before just getting pumped into the close once again. So, yeah, XOM can't get beside itself right now, and that trade will just continue to struggle. I do not like the energy space. We've talked about that over and over again, almost to death. So, Workhorse, quickly to talk about that. That was a big trade for us yesterday, going long off the open. We saw President Trump in and out. That was just a test trade. We saw President Trump yesterday on the floor. What's up, Brandon?
Real quick, guys. Caesars from the hotel group out this morning with a stock offering, a decent size one as well. Down here at $56. So Caesars down 3%, guys.
Yeah, I saw that one. $56 offering there. So we will see what CZR has with us today I think, is it the Randster on the bell today? I think I see somebody over there. So we'll see Randy looking good today. He had his breakfast sandwich. Well, isn't it CZR NQ? Double bacon, no cheese, right there?
Double bacon.
Randy, I remembered that one, so there you go. We're going to hit that thing. It's 10 seconds to go.
There we go.
The bell's coming down, Randy. Let's go.
I got to fade into that to make sure it goes on time, but this bell's dropping down here for Randy. He's going, what in the actual...
He's hitting it with the ball. All right. I guess that means we are open. So here we go. Randy hitting it with the bull there. Good job there, Randy. Thank you so much. That might mean that we are in for a bullish kind of day. Let's wait to see if Square opens up. We still have 164.50 in our sights for Square, or 164. It looks like it's already above that here, guys.
Yeah, and Beyond Meat immediately testing that 162.50. So the failure at that price hasn't happened just yet. I am watching to see if it can roll over. But there goes that WWR. So as much as I'm watching Beyond Meat, it's not giving you the weakness at that price that I would have liked, but that'll take me back over to what is already a nice little winning trade. And WWR, for me, it was a fade because a couple of things. I just thought it was overbought, and it was one of the only ones that we had locates on. I would have taken a couple of these other names. LCA is another one there. LAC, sorry. But this one through 261, I got it short. Just taking some out southbound at 240, also at 235. So quick winner over on WWR. My fade in Fitbit remains to be seen how that's going to work out, because still trading around 695. I just want this one in front of 7 even.
Yeah, 18. Okay, we're going to look at some, whatever this is called, Nikola right now. Looking Nikola to see if we can break the bottom here. We've talked about them over and over again and some of the troubles that they've had with their CEO and obviously the GM deal coming through tomorrow. The high there is 1890. I actually don't mind the long either. I just think the stock moves today. And obviously the rhetoric and the trend has been to the downside. So there we go. Now opened up here is Nikola. Obviously, you're coming right to the bottom now. We will smash this and we'll see what we can do. We are now short Nikola at this bottom price of 1827 here, guys. We'll give it up to about 1867 or so, back to the high side where we came from, guys.
Yeah, and going back to one of the other names from our watch list, remember Sorrento was one we were looking to see if it would take out that little top. It does not. It's already headed southbound. There was 11, 11.15, 11.30, all levels that I will be watching. Fitbit has rolled back into the money for me, but I'm going to be fading that trade. Like I said, if it rolls down to like 685, we'll let you know. This trade here in Sorrento, I'm going to have to use the first level because first move was down, so it's going to be 11, the short off of that price. Going to start getting in this chop range here, 75 to 85. But I like selling the news on any of these vaccine plays. Sorrento isn't going to be any different here. So just going to jump into a quick little short, starting it in between this 75 all the way up to 11 even. But 11.30, that's where I would go long if it breaks that price from a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so Nikola, we're still waiting on that one to actually wind up doing something. But we are going to get out a little bit here if it does break higher. We do want to average into this trade if we have to, so we are waiting at 60s, in the 60s for it. Brendan, give us another name, bud.
First halt of the day, guys, goes to Houston, what is it? Houston American Energy, one of those little lithium names from yesterday popping up this morning. 217%, just halted upside there at the open, guys.
Okay, I think this Beyond Meat now has made possibly that move that I was looking to fade, 164.50, darn it. That was a good one. I said that it was a little bit overextended there. That was when we were around 162. It makes a move up to 164.50. That would have been a fantastic short there. Not on, though. We'll wait for it to bounce up a little bit back to 164-ish. Here it comes. Let's put on a short now and see if we do take out that 164.50. But right now we're short, 163.98. And there it goes right to the top, breaking through 165 now. So we're going to have to give this one a little bit more room to the high side. We're not going to give it all the way to 170, but there's that high right there, 165.29. So we'll give it to 165.50, guys, on a blowout right here.
Yeah, just noting that APM, the halt to the upside within 1 minute. It didn't take very long with that name. Didn't take very long for the flush and SRNE, guys. So we'll line it up. We'll knock this one out, knock this one down here. Look, it's all about having a bit of a plan. Gave 3 levels to work off of to the short. On the pop, was ready for it. Unfortunately, I did try to take some more shares when it got up to 85. You can see that lonely order. It should have like a sad emoji when it doesn't get filled, but I wasn't able to get any shares above 80. So it's just 72s we have. I just took some out there on a 50 level as it continues to slide back down. This is just a gap fill play. It's worked in the past. I'll go back to the well almost every single time we get a shot. But Sorrento, yeah, got to have a plan of action here. I like fading these puppies when they get these gaps up.
So right now we have Beyond Meat short, just bouncing around. We're short right here at 164. It's probably going to take out this 164.50. I thought it was worth the try, so we'll wait to see, 165.50. We'll wait to see if that does come through. We are short now, out $1 on that one. Our Nikola, we're going to be averaged in soon on this one. It's bouncing around. We did take out that bottom. It did not continue to flush downside. So again, we do have our targets upside, so we won't get blown out of this trade, but it's definitely not a great one, as we did think Nikola was going to be heading south side, not northbound right here. And it looks like I just must have missed my average in there. It was at 164. We went as high as 160, so we could still get that coming through. So Beyond Meat and Nikola, the only two shorts that we have on right now. I do want to go over to AMD. That's breaking upside right now as well. What's up, Beep?
The latest SPAC to kick off, guys. NOVS on the NASDAQ here, 24%. They're going to take App Harvest public. This is a farm operator, so indoor farming operator from the food group. They're going to be taken public through NOVS, guys.
NOVS.
And baseball playoffs start today, so I guess I got to trade a little PED here. A couple of shorts I just put on this one. This was on the watch, I do believe. Well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but a small cap gap to the upside here. I'll just give you the levels I'm looking at. 225 is first one. From there, I got like a 260 area, 259 to be precise. Taking the first short, but it's looking very, very strong here. As a matter of fact, just stopped me out immediately. So in and out, PED. I almost feel like I had to trade it on this day, pun intended when it comes to that one. I do want to jump you guys back over to Beyond Meat, of course. I did want to fade into that Beyond Meat trade. It just looked entirely too strong off of that little open, and you're seeing it continue up. So probably should have played that breakout of the 162.55, but we give those levels to you. And if you're bullish, you got yourself a nice winner on Beyond Meat. I'm going to probably stay away from a fade trade until I see a longer consolidation, but watch out for 160 where this all started. That could turn into support on the way back down.
Yeah, we got hit there out at 165, but then reversed it back to the short. Now looking at like a 163. If we could take out some up there, we'll give it to 166. And if it breaks that, then we'll be out of Beyond Meat. We're just waiting for Nikola to make a move here. Brendan, give us another name, though.
We were talking about Tortoise acquisition yesterday, guys. There was 2 or 3 conditions that they had to approve in their shareholder meeting that they had yesterday. 2 out of the 3 were approved. The third one being pushed to Wednesday. So the actual vote going to take place on Wednesday for SHLL. But monster volume here, back through 51 on SHLL, guys.
Shill.
Yeah, that's got to be a bit of a watcher there. We've had some success trading that one in the past, but definitely going to be jumping back into it. It's just one of those things where, for me, I see that volume spike, and it takes you right into like a no man's land price range here. If it were to get past like 52, that would be a strong sign. Fading off the news just seems like it's an easy call for a couple of reasons. I mean, the other one here, there was resistance just a little bit higher than this on the daily, up in that 52 to 53 range. You can see the top that's been made the last couple of weeks. So you might get a breakout through 53.50, 54 is the current high of the day. Below those prices, I'm almost thinking that we could still see a bit of a rollover on Shill. I've had more success shorting it. Call it a bias, call it whatever you want. I will get back to Fitbit, but that, just one of those in and out. I'm still shorting it. It just broke into the 80s. I said it'll get interesting if it gets to about 85. That hasn't happened just yet. I do want to jump over to PLL. This was my number one stock, yesterday's action. And I'm sort of regretting that I didn't see this happen. 32.50 pre-market high. Ignore that little wick. Right off the open, jumps right into that. And if you fade off that level, it's a $3 winner. I'm going to eyeball that same 32.50. If it can't get past it, it's a short for me. But watch out. This one could actually break to the upside. It's down 13%, but we've seen it come off a couple sessions in a row. A squeeze could happen here. That'd be through 33 for me. So watching PLL back on the radar from yesterday's action.
Okay, we are also looking right now at CCL. Yeah, PLL, a good one there. Lithium, we talked about that yesterday. There's a bunch of names, so good. That 1542 yesterday's high, and we're right there for CCL. So you could fade this one through. I do like the action that's happened here on the market so far today. So we'll go long CCL, and we'll give it back backside about 1530, 1525 into this area. Hopefully we can get some momentum on a break to go to the upside. Our Beyond Meat, we tried a couple of different shorts. shorts. We were in the money on the last little short there that we had. We actually went down in the money about $1.50. We were waiting for 163 and got greedy, so missed that one. Now out at 166. So Beyond Meat will flush ourselves down the hole, as I thought we wanted to fade this move up 10% here. Look, I love Beyond Meat. I'm a shareholder. The wife likes them, so yeah, should have gone long on this name, but whatever. We did think it was a little too high, so fade, out. Now out at 166 in change. So I think it was a good out, but definitely the only position we have on right now is this Nikola, and it's looking like it wants to take out 19. What's up, Brad?
Early strength in Facebook, guys. Looks like a couple of price target increases from analysts this morning on Facebook. So 1.5% here to the upside. Just broke 260 on a volume spike.
Yeah, and you mentioned Nicholas Sean bouncing back up towards pre-market high at 18.18, but it's going to be a short in front of that for me. If it's going to give me a better price, I wanted an 18 break. It bounces off the pre-market low. I'm going to jump into this if I can catch it here on Nikola. Where are my locates on this one? Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. We had an issue with one of our gateways trading, but Nikola just rolls over in my face. So 18.88 looks like it's going to hold. Tried to pick up some shares short there at 75, but couldn't catch it on the way down. Let's see if I can still get back into it. I promised you an update into Fitbit. For me, it was an obvious fade trade. I just got in probably a little bit too early. You can see I took shares in the low 80s. I've added at 90, 92, 93, 92. I just took it all out on the way back down. It just feels a little bit stronger, and I guess people might expect this to be more of a done deal than I do. Either way, if it finds a bottom, then I consider going long, but I prefer to fade it off that 7 level. Brennan, what do you got?
One to the downside here. Myovent, we've traded this one many times on the show. Back to the downside, big time here. 24%. We're back to these levels from way back in July. They had a cancer treatment that was in a very late stage trial. Looks like it has failed and missed its end goal. So MYOV, big decliner so far, guys.
Yes, I just killed a little fly that was around here. That was pretty good. I feel pretty proud of myself there. Okay, Nicola, I was protecting you, Valeria, so there you go. Okay, NVIDIA here. These are flying today, boy. NVIDIA flying off the open, so is AMD. All these stocks just rocking to the upside here. You see the NASDAQ going high now, but now we just faded back down, so I don't know what just happened. We were just talking about how the NASDAQ was flying, and then, wow, a nice big drop here for the market. Do we have a number that just came out maybe at 940? The market just taking a move to the downside. It could be nothing. It's just the NASDAQ basically giving up its whole morning right there. Let's go back over to Microsoft quickly just to see if something triggered there. No, Microsoft not doing anything. So yeah, just probably some of those names that we were looking at. Nikola, we did take that average up to 64. It's still nothing. Our big position was put on here on that number. So we'll wait for the close of Nikola here. It needs to come back downside. And what I mean is just close this one little candle. If we can still keep making our moves back down, it does tick 35s. We are short 33s. So we're right back to in the money now, or flat anyways, on Nikola. What a wild ride that was. Let's see it take down the bottom here as we go. But we did have to hold this one. Nikola now coming down as you're seeing the market come through just a little bit. So finally, guys, we won't floss it off yet. I'm not going to hit any buttons yet. We want this thing back down at least to where we first got in at the day's low, guys.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself over that, Nikola. Sorrento, it bounced off of 51 time, 1050 that is. It headed back upside. I did miss another test at that 85 level. I wanted shorts in the 80s, so it didn't quite get there. So I still just have those 72s in the money, about 10 cents now. But I'm looking for a 1050 break to further fill in this gap to the downside. Of course, positive news with their candidate, but I'm selling that news here, and you're seeing it worked so far. I should have knocked on some wood there 10 minutes in. Of course, it's in the money. Brendan, what do you got for us?
Big lots, guys. This one was on the watch list, still up 5%, but big flush here from 52 down to 49.5. We're consolidating around this 50 area. They were out this morning increasing their current quarter guidance, both same-store sales and profit expected to be higher than originally stated, guys.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought there was going to be strength to short in Zoom. But it doesn't even give you any shot. It just goes straight to the downside. So looks, your sentiment can be one way. It just doesn't matter if you don't have an execution. 480 looks like it came and went rather quickly here. If you're jumping in to find a little bit of support on the stock, you're probably waiting until like the 460, 465 range before you're too confident about anything. The rollover is on. Yesterday's bottom has been taken out on a retrace. Probably looking at 85 as a level where I'd be shocked if we get back above there on any kind of a pullback. So Zoom already on its way. 460 looks like where the support might be.
Okay, we're still waiting for this Nikola. We did take a little bit out here, trying to capture some profits and really just getting our price back to where we need it to be in order to try to make a little bit of money on this move downside right here. So we went to 25 there. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't have a bid down there. So we'll see if it can retest that day's low, as it looks like it wants to keep moving to the downside here. Look at this move in the NASDAQ, right? So if your shorts aren't working now, then I am a little bit nervous. So that's why right here for Nikola, again, it's not that it's going to follow the market, but this sentiment right here to the downside should be bringing this thing back. So we'll see. I'm going to put another bid rate down here. It's touched too many times down here. 24, 25. It hit in the pre-market. It hit when we took it, and then it just hit again and resisted that bottom. So Nikola right now may have found a bottom. Just letting everyone know that if you are shorting this thing, watch out. It needs to take this one more time, and then we need to see a flush, or else it may have already touched it, man. 1, 2, 3 times the charm. So watch out for your Nikola positions right now. I would say going to try to get some more out in the 20s if I can.
Yeah, sort of speaking of things that are coming back in here, you are seeing Virgin Galactic pull back. It's obviously been such a fantastic run for them recently. I had a 2050 level that I was watching to see if it could hold. That hasn't happened, so that turns me at least a little bit bearish until we're back above that level. You're seeing consolidation right at the 20 even mark. This does give you a couple of opportunities. Maybe you can scalp long off the top of this. I'm not going to. I'm going to be looking to go into a pullback short in front of 50, or if I can catch it right here in front of like 15 for a tighter stop short into the low of the day, maybe go ahead with that. But I much prefer if it pops back and tests 2050 for the initial short, smaller position in front of 2015. Brendan, what do you got?
Some people watching this USEG. Wow, this thing's tiny. $6 million market cap on this. There was a deal announced this morning, USEG. They're buying Field Point Petroleum's upstream assets for $500,000. So USEG just halted again, guys. 222%, but halted downside this time, guys.
USEG. I was also looking at Square there. We'll look at USEG in a second. Square, what a great opportunity that was to get long on that move down. We are too obsessed with Nikola, and that's what I mean. Sometimes we'll talk about some positions and then miss other ones, right? We did look at Square down here at 163.50. Look at all of this consolidation down here. It does make that move, man. It pulls back down about $2.50, where we could have been sitting here to get long. So we'll try that one more time. 163 bottom here on Square. It came close. It got to 11. So I think if we're bidding, in the 163.50, 163.70 area, not a bad spot to start building along as you're seeing the NASDAQ. I mean, look at this. This is what I'm talking about here. Right down and then right back up. So you are seeing some volatility here. However, it's still not big moves. It's just uncertainty in the market. Move down, move right back up. So again, that's why I'm not really into too much today. We should have taken out more of our Nikola at the bottom. But the big buyer there. We still do believe in some Nikola, so I'm not worried about it. It's just we should have taken it off once we saw the 1, 2, 3 bottom. So this is the position that I'm in right now. I don't think we'll get more short because we're already committed to it. I like Nikola to the shorts, and I'm going to stay in it.
Yeah, just want to go back quickly here. I'll watch out for Workhorse coming off only 4% now, but retesting some of those previous levels from earlier in the weekend back to last week. We talked about 26 and 24. If it can hold 26, that's a good support level for it. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
Just watching this Piedmont. I'll show you Fastly first. How about that? Just popping up on a volume scanner. But yeah, big move here so far for Fastly, 7%, coming up to $97 for FSLY. PLL, though, looks like it's having a little bit of trouble, guys, at that low from yesterday afternoon, 34.25. That's at Piedmont from yesterday, guys.
All right, we're going to celebrate. I mean, we don't have it, but we'll hit the cowbell. Anybody looking for investment advice that we gave you, or I talked about Fastly down here. We got a question yesterday in our live question and answer period about long-term investments and when to make them and when to put them on. I gave you guys Fastly. I'm in this one in the high 70s. You can see it was right down here. We made some moves down. We like the business. This is in that TikTok stuff. So yeah, we're celebrating that. That's for damn sure. So Fastly, a good little look there if you invested that with us. Or with me, I shouldn't say with us. DKNG there, 58. Another one here that we're in pretty low at. This is up 450% since March. Good little mover. DraftKings still up that 2.6%. I have no idea if I'm going to get out of this or not, but this is a good stock. It's a 1-minute chart, though. Very, very choppy. I'm trying to find things that are setting up, guys. I mean, Beyond Meat, Neil, wow. I mean, this stock just 168. As a shareholder, it's celebration time, but But yeah, we missed that one.
thought
All
it
I
was
had to do was
overbought.
go long instead of short.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was overbought. I'm not gonna hide away from that. But sometimes you got to accept the fact it's not doing what you expect. Again, talked about a little bit of a short that we'll put on here in Virgin Galactic pulling back in. I don't like this necessarily as much as I would have liked 2050, but you get what you can. And if you're going to have direct market access like we do, that means we can scalp. So I can take some shares in front of 20 at 96, and I can take some out in front of the low here at 75, and then see if it runs a little bit lower. And again, this is more to do with this. Actually, go to the daily chart. This is more to do with the break that we've had on here. Market weakness coming in. Virgin's already got the upgrades. A lot of times, if you get these big bounces and it's like 25% in a couple of sessions when the upgrades start coming in, it's not a horrible place to sell. I'm looking at yesterday in the afternoon or around lunchtime, this little bottom here at 1935 or so. That'd be a nice little target for me on this 20 short. In the money about 30 cents or so. Going to trim some more of the position here and then work this one down to that 1935 mark. So good short in Virgin. I did say I liked it better off at 2050, but also like that 20 short that we got right now.
Okay, so we are in to our boy Tesla right now. So we went long Tesla, 412.43. We talked about trying to protect that 410 area. So there's our little pickup down there, 412.43. It rips into the money about $1.20. No real targets. We could get back to VWAP 416 or so, but right now we're just massaging this Tesla position using 408, 410 as a kill spot. What up, B?
Another one to the downside here, guys. United Natural Foods Incorporated announcing aftermarket yesterday. Their CEO is going to retire, so a bit of a plan in place as far as succession is concerned, but down big time on that news, 11% for UNFI, guys.
Yeah, just want to check back in on what are the other positions we have on. Of course, that WWR, mentioned that lithium space. Got a little greedy here, but at 261 short, I took a bunch of shares out for about that 10% mark in front of like 230 to 240. But once it got down, I had a target of close price was 197, so in front of that $2 range. It got all the way down to 217, so maybe I should have been happy with the 40 pennies. Didn't take it off. If it tests down there again and bounces off that 215, 220 area, I will take the rest of this off for like a 35, 40 cent win. Otherwise, still going to hold true to that $2 target. Just watching Fitbit, it looks like it tested over $7 and then snapped right back down. Could be back into some shorts shortly in that one. Space, Virgin Galactic, SRNE, and WWR. That's all I got. And all to the south side. Looking for a couple of longs to get engaged in, but not a lot of market movement here, Sean.
No, there sure is not, and that's a little worrisome to us. But we did talk about space and fading that one, so that's a good play there. We are still in our Tesla. Targets just back up here, man. If we can get back to VWAP, we'll be super happy with that. We are going to try to average in on this one as well. But what we're doing is if you have a longer term chart up, you can see Tesla around that 410 area does have some protection, but right now we are long 412.40, so we're flat on that stock right now. So we'll wait to see if we can get back upside 415, 416. We will definitely take that. Brendan, give us another name, bud.
From the cloud group, guys, this is a holding company, but Green Pro Capital, mainly active in the cloud space, just broke that $2 level on huge volume, has already been halted once, up 100%, guys.
$20 there. Yeah, just looking at that space trade. Okay, here we go. Now we're up in the money about $1 on this trade right here for Tesla. We are out 30 cents, though, on Nikola. Comes all the way back into where we did average the last time. So not a horrible spot to maybe average again. We'll see if we can get some shares more short. There we go. We just took some there at 1862. So we'll give this one, again, just to the upside. It probably breaks it. It's just whatever. We are going to test Nikola here to the downside and just see if this futures wants to give us that trade. But we're in the money $1 right now on Tesla and out of the money on this Nikola trade. Be nice if both could work for us, though, coming up.
Yeah, I just want to jump you guys back over to Sorrento very quickly here. And we mentioned some levels, of course, it's on the watch list, 1130, 1115. It just broke the 11 area, so the first short we had on makes some nice money down into 1050. But I accidentally reversed long, immediately got out because I'm only going long on an 1130 break. That goes back to the 17th. That high there. So far, the fact that it's going to hold below that second high, that lower high at 1115, still makes me feel like I'm going to be a bit bearish on it until we get above 1130. So if it makes another test to the top side, you might see me jump into a short again on Sorrento. Not done with it by a long shot. Now, Virgin Galactic, on the other hand, space, still trying to get down to that 1950 mark. I talked about 35 area. I want to get the rest of my shares out if I can. My stop is now moved to basically break even, right around that $20 area stop here. So Virgin, the retracement is on. It seems like a good short there. I don't have an execution yet in Nikola. I did want to be fading in this one, of course. We mentioned this. Of course, they've been beaten up heavily. I tried the first time getting it at 75. It did not get to that price the second time through. So the failure is a little bit lower. The lower the day's 25. I have a stop order. I've had one since 18 even. It feels like maybe this 18.25 could be the place to go if it's going to take out the bottom instead of 18. Brendan, what do you have?
Just double checking on this Houston American Energy. It's been halted for 10 minutes. Yeah, it's still saying additional information here, but halted for about 10 minutes here for HUSA. The last one to the downside here. So just be careful, guys, if you're watching this HUSA.
Oh, here comes a reload with coffee. Look, Nikola there. We did take that 62 there. Out some 51s, out some 42s, out some 38s. There she is. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to watch your journey today. We will talk about that and coming up on that little throw there. If you want to watch it just like I do, coming up is Valeria's journey. There's been a lot of questions about that. I know Neil, Neil, Brendan, and myself, our journeys are already posted, so you can definitely check that out. There's Miss V and her journey. We'll take that off for right now. You guys can check that at 11:45. She'll drop that link. I know a lot of you are interested in that one. Okay, we made it downside there, and what I was talking about was just Nikola here. Obviously it's not as weak as we thought. We've already identified that bottom that Neil was talking about, 18.25. Would love for that to break, and then we'll be monstrous, but that needs to come through still. So instead, we're just trying to piece a little bit off just in case that doesn't happen. Again, we're not going to be right on all of the trades, obviously, but if we can just cash in a little bit, we've got our average price now to 37, taking a couple hits, but just little small paper cuts. We'll wait to see. It'll be a big gash if it does break 19. That could happen. Nikola's still on the move here. Tesla, meh, just hovering around. We could have taken about $2 on that one, but we're going to wait till about 4.15 upside on Tesla. What's up, Beep?
Sonova Energy looks like to be the latest to fall on the short sellers watch list here. So NOVA in New York, 6.5%. It's come well off the lows, tagged 23.5, but it was, if I flip back over, Spruce Point Capital, another short seller that issued a note on Sonova Energy, guys.
Yeah, I just want to note Sorrento heading towards that 11:30. That's the mark that I'm looking for a breakout. A couple of people have asked if shares are easy to borrow at your broker, does that mean they're short for free? The answer to that is going to be a yes. And there was another question. People are asking about the halts. Why are some 5 minutes and why are some take longer? Halts on U.S. markets can be 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Depending on the regulation, depending on the particulars of the individual halt, how far it's moved, the price of the stock. So a lot does go into it. It's not always 5 minutes. It just most of the time you're going to get those 5-minute halts. So don't panic if something doesn't open within that 5-minute time frame. Still watching SHLL, of course, Tortoise here, not really testing back up towards that 52.50 that we're going to look at. So it already faded off that level, not quite getting to an entry target. Virgin right back to 1975. As I mentioned here, if it was to break back above like 2010, 2015, I'm just going to get out of this one somewhere in that range. Otherwise, seeing if we can get that retracement to continue on Virgin. This is just a short trade based on price action here. It has been up a couple of days, sometimes selling the news. When you get those upgrades, that's the play. But if it breaks 2015, I will be out of Virgin Galactic.
All right, guys, cooking up some SRNE right now. Nice little long off of 15. So let's make sure we capture some profits here. Out 24s, out 20s. We're still going high side right now. A nice little trade here on Sorrento. Needless to say, I don't need to tell you that. Long at 15. You've been waiting for this one, so here it comes, guys. Our first one of the day is going to be a nice one, and it's a banger. I don't know if that just hit there or not. Our page is not working. We'll hit Uber. We'll catch an Uber to the upside here on Sorrento. Nice little trade here, and bang, big win there. 12 cents in the money now on Sorrento. Look at that out, man. 30s there. Thanks for that target, Neil. We waited at 30, took that out. So a nice little trade of Sorrento. Long 15s, guys, and out all the way up, man. 25s, 30s, and whatnot. So a good trade there on Sorrento. Ba-ba-ba-bang.
Yeah, all about the bangers, guys. I want to go back to PLL for a quick little second. This one, Brendan gave this to you guys, sort of coming off that 34. Since he mentioned it, it's faded all the way back down to 30 even. A bit of a higher low it put in at 29. This was probably my best. This was my best stock yesterday in trading action, and it was good to the short side. Having already missed out on this little short opportunity, the way I made money yesterday was when it tried to bounce back up, couldn't beat VWAP, and then held below. So I'm sort of eyeballing a consolidation in this 31 range. If it does want to do the same thing I saw in yesterday's action, that would likely give me a short in the 30-50 range, testing down into the low. Then I need a break of the low of the day. Because that's the same setup as yesterday, I can't possibly like it as much. I feel like it's a little bit less likely that it'd be just as good of a trade. But looking for some sideways action below 31 to see if it then tests a low. I'll short it off that 31 area if I get that opportunity. I am jumping back into some Fitbit now that I see it holding below $7. So I'll have that at 99, probably start scalping it for 4 or 5 cents at a time if I can get it. I want to go to this one here because every now and then we show you winners, we show you losers. I got stopped out in PED. Now, I would have been, it halted anyways, so even though it came to the upside with an up halt, I'm out either on my stop, or I'm out the second it reopens, or I'm getting out the second it would have halted. Either way, it comes back in. If I hold through, is it a huge winner? Yeah, you're short at $2. It goes down to 145, but I'm not holding past my stop level. I'm not holding into a halt to the upside on one of these thinly traded names. So for me, it's not worth the risk reward. If you held it on the short side, fantastic. You got yourself a nice win. I don't think it made a lot of sense there, so I didn't do it, obviously. It is already 10 o'clock. Wow. Time to get to Brennan for Happening Now.
And just like that, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here, guys. Pretty muted so far, right across the board. We're seeing the NASDAQ coming back to life a little bit, trying to lead things to the upside. But overall, not a lot going on. Even the S&P there is negative, but only just 0.01%. The Dow is negative as well, 0.14% to the downside. The Russell having trouble today, 0.3% to the downside. Same story here in Toronto, the TSX, 0.28%. The BOVESPA down in Brazil, about the same. In negative territory, but good to see tech stocks trying to lead things to the higher. A couple things from the watch list to be aware of. Guys, sign up for the watch list. It's absolutely free. Valeria will help you out. $51 here on BIG. Big lots. We talked about big flush off the open, but it did get back above, or it's trying at least to get back above that 51 support level from the pre-market. So watch 51 on big lots. LAC, one of those little lithium miners, Lithium American, back above 1050. Trying to go positive here where we ended the day yesterday. Big move yesterday on the back of that PLL deal with Tesla. We'll shift over one more time here if I can. Come on, there we go. APM, the crazy one from the pre-market. Yeah, trying to come back to earth a little bit. This thing's been halted multiple times. Still very tough to get locates on that one, but another one to watch, guys. This APM, if it gets back above that $10, might give you a trade, guys.
No, we just got one. Guys, we come back here and we'll do a couple flips because there it is, Tesla. We got the bottom of the day right here, down here, 412 in, 412.40 and out. We were going to wait for 416 up here. It's just bounced too many times at 415. So out at 414.73 for some crazy backflips. Really glad we got our SRNE out there near 30, but it's still bouncing around. I just want to give people our downside target of about 11 there. So we're going to hold SRNE. As that comes all the way back down to 11.07. We didn't get any out there. We've only taken outs for profits right now, but SRNE, just to give you guys that little update. And then, of course, whatever, man. Our Nikola comes screaming down. We think we're going to get it again, and we take a little bit more profits out right here in the mid-30s, actually for flats. So we'll wait on that one right now. But I don't know. That's about it for right now. SRNE, and I'm still hoping that this Nikola can come downside. Yeah,
watch out for this LAC. Now, Brendan mentioned this name, of course. It did have a bit of a high in the 18th at 11.22. That afternoon top was right around that same level. As it approaches, I'm going to be shorting in front of it. If it breaks 11.25, it probably makes a test of that wick high in the pre-market there, right at 8 o'clock. And again, that's light volume trading at $12, but you still can't throw it away completely. 11.25 is my price on LAC. We got cheap shorts here, only a couple of cents a share, so worth it for the trade. If it wants to roll over here, 10.50 previous close, that would also be another actionable entry point for me. So southbound, the pre-market high was 10.40. I'll enter at 10.40 on a break with a 10.50 stop if it just wants to roll over now. Otherwise, it's waiting for a test up to this 11.15 to 11.25 area, and then we'll get into that LAC. Watch out for Virgin Galactic heading back to that 20 area. I've already
like
taken
it.
some profit. I got 19.99 to the short side. If it breaks like 20.10 or so, I will be out of that trade. But we do have the short on right now. We've already made some money on it. I just want anybody that's tuning in now and still asking questions about JE. This was a reverse split.
Oh, I forgot about
it's probably, look, it's probably still a sell, and the fact that it came off like 25% should have sold at the open anyways, because you see these reverse splits, and it was under pressure 3 days in a row. Yeah, and there it goes. I mean, there might still be a play through 675 here, but it's already put in some fresh bottoms. If you do the math, this is like relatively like 21 cents a share, and it was 29 cents a share at the close yesterday.
Oh, man, that sucks. I really, really wanted that 710 break. It was one of the only things that I wrote down, and we made sure that we got shortable shares on that one as well. But unfortunately, yeah, missed JE, Just Energy here on the reverse split. But you still have that bottom of 674 if you did like it. But let's go over to Brendan quickly.
Speaking of energy names, guys, crude oil down about 2% right now as far as the price for crude anyway. Some of these oil names getting crushed as well. XOM down about 2%. Halliburton as well, I noticed. Also in negative territory, guys.
All right. Yeah, still looking at this SRNE and hoping that can come through. Watching JE here, looking to break 674 to the downside. Obviously, it's tradable in Toronto as well. We talked about that yesterday. Alibaba here could be on watch as election time comes through. We just tweeted out our Tesla trade, so you can find that there as well. Obviously, Tesla was also on our watch list, so that's very important. Make sure you sign up. We had a record sign up yesterday, so let's maybe that's thanks to Brendan here, basically in control of the watch list. Thank you, Brendan, for all the hard work that you do. And I know our viewers do appreciate everything in regards to the watch list. So good look on that one, guys. Sign up. Valeria definitely has that link for you. So thank you to Brendan and Valeria, actually, for all the hard work that you guys do. We hold that Sorrento now to the downside. It goes all the way down, man, to 11.03. We took some out at 08, and now it's coming back to the upside. So I think this is probably time to make a little bit of profit taking on that name. Let's check back in. Boo on you, Tesla. What a wild ride as it goes up to the upside right now. We did take that $2.50 off right there on Tesla, but there it goes. Gets excited and breaks the high side. I really hope that you guys had that. I gave you the identity. We identified 410 as an area. I hope you guys crushed that like we did, because we all like a little bit of this in our life.
Yeah, I saw someone say negativo or positivo on JE. Negative on that stock. WWR, this is the one that I got a bit greedy on. It just came back to test my level at 275. The second it rolled over, you can see I jumped into the short. I wait for it to come down. Again, I could have just stood in front of it, maybe got a better entry price, or I got 55s on the re-entry. Certainly I could have had something in the low 60s, but I prefer to selling to come in off that level, shy of the previous target. Now we'll see if it can head back southbound. Worth noting that 215 held the first time. I'll take some shares off all the way in front of that price to be sure. For now, Brendan has something for us.
We talked about this one way back when it was first announced, but Tencent Holdings, web search, Sogo, SOGOU in China. They're going to take that private for $3.5 billion. So this was actually first announced way back when in July. We mentioned this at that point. Looks like they finalized this deal as of this morning. So it's up 2.4%. On that news this morning for SOGO, if you're wondering, guys.
Okay, here goes Nicola. We hit the siren alert. Here we go, baby. Here we go. And here we go, baby, for space as well. We put that trade on, and now we run this to the upside. Bang! A nice couple trades here. Some chicken dinner winners for you. You guys are waiting for those all day, and here it comes through. The only trade we're missing on right now is SRNE, but space to the upside 2010. Out here, scalp, ahead of VWAP. So a good little out there, man. This is what we do. Use big shares and make our plays quick. In and out like a sniper here, but we only have still a third of this space. So yeah, let's just keep on hitting the fireworks, man. Nicola to the downside. The only problem here, Neil, is our Sorrento that we have. I'm not sure if you have an out here or not, but
I just took it out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
That literally didn't show up in my blotter until 15 minutes after, so I just immediately took it out.
Okay.
Looks like it was a bit of a late fill for me. I was wondering because 11:30 was the top, and I saw 32, but I never actually had the shares. I just got in, and again, I'm just going to immediately take that one out. It's a failed break. break. Normally, I'd probably have that out in the 15 range, but it comes back to 10 anyway, so it was never going to be a winner in that case, and I was never giving it back to 11 even. I like that level on the daily chart. Anytime I see something like this, where you have like a couple of lower highs, I'm going to wait for the top one to break, and that was 1130. That breakout trade doesn't work. It looks like the short was the way to go. That was the initial read. I might take another shot at the short if it fails to get above that 1130 again, but for now, I'm going to allow this one to settle down in SRNE.
Yeah, okay, good. So that's what I was just wondering, because we're getting it out right now as well. We only had a third, so now we take out another 5% against. Now we have about 20% left of this SRNE, and yeah, it's a headache. So we'll wait for that one. Nicola, though, man, thank you for that. We'll go arrow down as now it's coming back up, but we are almost out of everything of Nicola for profit. So good trade here on Nicola. Obviously, we wish that would have faded even more. I don't even want to look at where my Tesla would be now. Okay, still 417, so I don't feel so bad dumping that one. Space, though, man, good outs for 2/3 of our position out here right on this break. We talked about that, giving up some of this go straight now. This is what I like. Obviously, to pick the bottom would have been fantastic, but as soon as you sort of, and again, the show's all about education here, so and fun and trading and honesty and everything, but as you can see right now, as soon as this is taken, I like to put on a little more risk, take that to the upside, cash it out. Our best out there, 19. That's pretty lucky. So we'll wait to see if it can continue to hold. And then again, guys, SRNE bouncing. Our out is now going to be sub 11. So we'll wait on that one. And then Nicola, this looks crazy, but we did have to absorb this. And one thing I've been working on is taking this. Yep, I got it there, Ranster. Taking that one and then holding up at 1865, 1866 there. So I may just give this up at 1850 to make sure that we capture some profit. And as you heard me talking with my man Randy there, it is now time for the big screen. And I like this section, upgrades and downgrades. Let's get some more names, guys.
Hey guys, yeah, let's talk upgrades and downgrades. We'll look at upgrades on this side, downgrades over there. Alphabet with a couple of upgrades for Google today, up nicely on that. Facebook, we mentioned Qualcomm and Square having a nice day, 3+% for Square. This Host Hotels and Resorts, one of the smaller ones from that group, moving to the downside after a downgrade this morning. I'll show you that one in a second. Here's Square, yeah, just put the line here right at the pre-market high, that wick to the upside, 164.30. Gave you a really nice opportunity up to 167. Coming into recent high territory, though, if you go out to the daily chart on Square. So heads up there. HST, that's that Host Hotels and Resorts, big flush at the open. Quick reversal, though, 10 to 1075. It needs to get back up above that $11 area. 11 was problems for that one yesterday, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you, Brendan. Want to go back to that PED. It is looking like it's trying to make a bit of a bottom here. This was obviously would have been a good short, but you're seeing it hold at like a 160 to 150 area. If it does make a push to the upside, there might be a scalp trade. I'd call it like 170 back into that two even. It's already had one halt. This is you watch out for these small and micro cap stocks for any kind of squeeze action. So it has had one upside halt. It's worth noting. It immediately sold back off, so it didn't have any juice for a second push. I would then look at that price level like a 230, 235 area. That's going to be your ultimate out if you're shorting this one still. But a potential break at 170 looks like it could be in the cards. I'll go back to WWR. I mentioned I did get a reload in this one. I wasn't able to get it anymore at a better price, so I had to take 255. Then 250s when it broke. So I didn't catch it in the 60s where I had it the first time. Let's see if it can't roll back over down towards that 220 area, guys. So in the money once again on WWR, and of course still working that Fitbit in and out. We'll cover that a little bit later on when it settles down, but a good one so far.
Yo, what's up, Space? Right there, bang, punch that in the face. We're taking this out on the way up. We just took 23s. It rips to 29. Why are we getting out? We're just there it is. We take out some more now. Bang! Big trade there. Good idea on Space today. There it is. There's to the moon. Let's hit it again. We go into the moon right now on Space. I don't know how high we're going up, but we are close to out. Less than a third. Let's call it 28% right now on Space left. So in here, pretty heavy at 2010. We told you that. I like to tell you when I like trades and when we're actually using shares. So there we go. Space was one. I've told you we actually have a real position on as well on Nicola. So that one came off a little bit. And that's the one thing, guys, I will tell you every time when we're actually putting on shares there. So hopefully you can follow. And I will tell you also when I'm just testing, right? Like Beyond Meat this morning, not a big amount of shares on that one as well. B.
AXNX, guys, on the NASDAQ. This is Axonics Modulation Technologies. There was a medical equipment maker. There was a patent dispute filed against them going back a couple months. So they've won that dispute. So we're at all-time highs here this morning for AXNX. A little bit thinly traded, but back to $51 for this one, guys.
Right,
yeah, just watching Houston there, I actually was look at level 2 thinking it was about to halt about 30 pennies ago, but it looks like it's moving to the upside again. But you're seeing every couple of 20, 30 cents or so, it's trying to pound through the bid, and you'll see Refresher step up. Another one here at 612. There's the actual halt. So anytime you see that happen, people trying to push the price a little further, can't trade past a certain price, you might expect that halt to come in. This is like number 3 on the day on HUSA. I didn't have any locates on this one, so I'm not going to be hunting for a short opportunity until I do get some. But certainly there is an opportunity. I think once this does settle down, there's going to be a good short. If you're able to pay for the shares, I have to double check to see if we can get them. I think Brendan got some shares shortable on HUSA, and there's no levels to look at to the upside. I'm just going to watch for a halt that ends up down and then holds one of the previous highs. Currently, that would be 612.
Oh, Brendan, good trade there on HUSA. Look at this, SRNE, guys. Patience is key right there. So we take that on the idea of a break, 11.15. We talked about alongside trade on that one. We give it all the way to 11 there on the technical. That's a moving average on a 3-minute chart. We gave it to that, and now we cash back out for some profits. So right now we've got 3 positions on, including Nikola coming back down. We're just taking this out as we go, man. We're now short at 50. I'm going to wait for the ultimate bottom to break. Let's see an 18 break right now, Brendan. What's going on?
Adile Pharmaceuticals, ADIL. This is going to be on the NASDAQ, 41% here. Just broke downside through $2. But looks like they got FDA approval for an emergency use authorization for a finger stick blood sample COVID-19 test kit, which is the first of its kind. So ADIL, big move today, guys.
Come on, Nicola. Come on, Nicola.
My bid on upside, guys, in NEO as well. I see a couple of you guys talking about this. So I want just a quick cover. I'm not going to short anything just because it's moving to the upside. But on the daily, you are going to look every time it's broken this 20. 2025 would be that next level up. That's where I'm looking to see if it rolls over. It's a lower high at 20. This is at 2025. Oddly enough, that's a very similar setup to what we're looking at in Sorrento. But the first stop will be that 20. If it does fail to get through, that's when I'm going to look for a short. We're only at 1965, so probably a little bit of ways to go before it runs into that resistance to the upside.
Want some money? Yeah, we want some money. I'm just thinking to myself right now because so far today, that's what we're doing, man. It's been this kind of a day right now. We take out some more space. Our best out on Virgin Galactic's 34, so we are running that to the upside. That's for damn sure. And then right here we go. Nikola, come on, man. You dropped down to 25 there. We're waiting at 23, similar to where we were before. So Nikola just bouncing around. But again, it's a winning stock for us today. The only stock we've lost on here today was Beyond Meat. And again, like we say, it's about being honest, man. We talked about fading that move, and then out right there to the top side. Look at this base we're building right here, baby. Beyond Meat, I think you might have topped yourself out a little bit. This kind of reminds me of that Virgin Galactic trade. What time is it? 10:15? Oh, yeah, still lots to go. So 167 to the downside here on a possible break. I think it's a good average in. Oh, man, like, give me a break, Neo. Yesterday, we were all over this thing. We made a great trade on a breakthrough 18 or 19. What was it yesterday? Let me check the morning. Hold on quickly here, guys. What was that price that we traded through yesterday? Was this break? Yeah, I thought it was 18.95. So we traded this break through 19. It stopped and then hammered us back to the downside. Not right now, man. We take out that day's high on NEO, and that happens late, man, at 10 o'clock. And now we rip to the high side on this name. So a very, very interesting one here is NIO. Let's take it back to the daily chart. I know Neil just mentioned it a little bit. What is the price that we can trade off of here? 20, 2015, 2033, getting real high. Brendan, if there is news on this, great. But I think it's more just the EV space. Tesla makes that move. What a great trade there. We did put that out on Twitter. It's also also part of our watch list. So definitely check that out as well. And then EV Space, the one that we actually want to come crashing down is this guy right now, Nikola. So let's put another one on the bid here. See if we get it picked up at 27 this time. We'll cancel our 23s, replace that with a 27, and see if we get hit. And we do not. So there it is. Bang. Oh, and of course it cracks right to 22. So here we go. Let's go, Nikola. We still got some positions on right now. This could be the day maker right here. So hoping that Nikola cracks below 18 and we see basically new lows for this stock. Let's hope.
I'm going to hit it for you there, guys, because we have that fantastic graphic, electric car space, but it's sort of related here. WWR, another one of those lithium names. Of course, Tesla coming through with that lithium deal. We've talked about a couple of names in space. WWR just happened to be the one that had the best setup for me, so that's why I picked it. It had great sideways action I could short off of for the pullback trade. I did get that nice little reload. And again, I wait for it to come down. Yes, you could have a better price than 250s and 255s, but that's not my style of trading when I short into these. I'd love to catch it as they come down, always getting in on a red candle if I can. Just took out some shares at 231, so I'm always taking 15, 20 cent profit on a $2 name like this, but it is 215 to 220. That's the next target down, and 2 even yesterday's close. My ultimate target, as long as we're below 275, I should have something on board looking for that move down to yesterday's close at 2 even. WWR, it's going to be, I shouldn't say that, probably my number 2 stock of the day because Fitbit could be a great one. Brendan, wow, small cap recap. I feel like he might be talking about some of the same names.
Hey guys, yeah, let's get a look at some other names. We'll talk about this one. Yeah, WWR. I'll add one thing to what Neil was just saying. Yesterday's high here, $3. That was pretty obvious. You go way back to what is this? July, beginning of July. There was some congestion up there around $3 as well. So $3 and then this kind of 275, 280 area. I love when these things do this late in the day before. Give you, really clear levels to work off of in the pre-market, and then when it holds below those kind of areas from yesterday in the pre-market, gives you more conviction. So WWR, a good one. PED, yeah, I managed to find some locates on this somehow. 225. A little bit of a pivot here in the pre-market. Every time it got up towards 225, failed miserably. So nice flush down there right at the open, down to 150. Was able to get out before that move back higher. So yeah, it did give you a really good re-up there on the short side for PED. And HUSA, yeah, I got shorts on this one as well. So 350, 355 area was a bit of support, broke to the downside, lower high, huge flush all the way down to 225, 230. So nice move to the downside, but wow, this thing's nuts. Now above $6 here, guys. Volume increasing on this HUSA, guys.
Because of course it is. Zoom here, we did talk about this name. Of course, a little bit of weakness coming into it. It's put in somewhat of a bottom, you can say here. These are all like little wicks to the downside. At 474, 475 is going to be that low. You are seeing the market very, very sideways here if you're looking at the NASDAQ. It's a similar story in the ES, but slightly inching towards positive. If you like the long on Zoom, I think it's going to be hard to ignore this little bottom pick here. Give yourself like $1 or $2 off of the low. I almost think you can reverse into the short because it's not going to hold this kind of a range. If we break that low, you're probably going to get at least a couple dollars worth of a scalp. First things first, can Zoom hold 474? That gives you a bit of a long entry. I will say, when you're putting stop orders in, something to always consider, look, the spread open up just 40, 50 cents at a time. That means a 74 stock, you're probably paying down $1 at least if you're going to go long in front of it, in addition to wherever you get your price. And so factor that into your risk reward, and you should be okay.
Okay, guys, and there we go, man. Nikola, here we go. And I just tweeted out, do you think we like the short, or I like the short? Look at this chart on a longer, as we zoom out right here, guys. We've been hammering this short and getting out. Obviously, now we're at the ultimate low, so great trade there. Really happy to take some out there at 13. We were actually bidding 01s. Okay, here we go. We may get it. Down to 08, 07, 06, 05, 04, 03. Hopefully we just keep on cracking down, but there it is. Nikola now moves to the downside. I've been tweeting this out, all my positions pretty much, but here is the big one here. You got to sign up for this. Nikola, bang, a nice little 50-cent win right there as we'll cash it in. Boom! Nikola making moves to the downside right now as we just keep on cracking. We'll take some out at 86, and there we go to the downside as we pump up the watch list and we pump up the nets right there, raining down money, raining down chicken dinner winners, everything coming in here today. Nikola, we talked about that one. There it is. Reap the rewards. We got Valeria laughing, enjoying herself. I hope you guys are having a great time. This is what the show's all about, guys. And there's Nikola. Real trade, real banger, real winners, guys. Explode the money. Let's go, Neil.
What does that say about the other ones there? I waited for Nikola patiently. I did try it a couple of times at 70, so kudos to Sean. The only other trade I had was the break of that bottom at 18, so that's where I'm going to get in here. I've already scalped them out for 10, and then we'll go down towards that 75 area, which it's at right now. As you see, there we go live, just got to fill there. 1750, and then we did talk about this as well in the pre. There was that one little move down to like 1620 of a low, but most of the volume was in front of 17, so I'm going to go with 17 as an ultimate target on the 18 break here. Has to break 1750 first. It's just, look, it's piling on. The shorts have come in strong on this one. As long as you have stops everywhere, I think you're okay. I think in this particular trade, I'm not giving it all the way back up to that 1890 support that I would have liked the first time. I'm going to give it back now to about an 18 even, maybe a couple of pennies above that price. Good short on that one. Also, WWR both working in the money for me as well. Neo entry, I was waiting for 20 even, so it has started to turn around at 1980. I'm still going to stick with that. I think I'd like to see a test of 20 before I dig into shorting on NIO.
All right, guys, and thank you for everything on the chat, man. Really appreciate all the love for everybody there. And if your speakers got blown out there, maybe buy higher quality speakers. Okay, here we go, guys. Out right now at 76. Some we're holding very, very small, just in case this thing continues to crack down. But hells to the yeah, we are excited now. Bang, bang, bang there. And Neil mentioned what were the other ones. We're excited about this one because, again, I told you guys that we're using serious shares here. So we're really happy to take the win. That's why I'm super excited. We don't get that excited if we don't have a decent win on. What's up, Brenda?
Just double checking, guys, on OPCO, OPK. We've traded this one many times. One from way back when it comes to coronavirus stocks. 7.5% on huge volume today. So not seeing anything significant at first glance, but OPK on the move, guys.
Just watch out. Neo is starting to make its move back to the upside. So it's doing a bit of a double test here. I'm just going to quickly show you JE. That did briefly take out that bottom. So I don't have a problem shorting it at this price. It's the equivalent of 22 cents. It could head a lot further down than this. It's almost a good thing that our chart's going to even show you on the daily here some of these prices, the penny stock pre-split, because it's worth noting where it could end up. And if you go to like a 15-minute and give yourself a bit of a zoom, you're going to see levels at 26. You go a little bit further back here, levels at 24 cents. So you do the equivalent, and shorting in front of those at a 33, sort of 33 to 1 makes a lot of sense to me. So shorting in front of 7 and 750. If it happens to go up, I'll probably be playing that game on JE. That's in the event of a spike. It's still holding down around that low. We got the short on, so it's 3 shorts: JE, Nikola, and WWR, guys.
What? I don't know. Valeria's asking me a question there, some about market wisdom. But what we are doing today on Market Wisdom, of course, make sure you join us. First of all, hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys. We're very close to 100,000 subscribers. So hells to the yeah on that one. Thank you for all joining us. We started in April, already 100K. So, but coming up right now, not right now, but today, there's Valeria and her trading journey. The Randster said, from Russia with love. She likes that one, so do we. So there it is. We did get out of our Sorrento, but that's coming up. We'll take that off. That's at 11:45. Nikola back down again to the lows. 17. We almost got the low of the day there on that flush. 1764. We actually got 76s on this push back down. Let's see if that does happen again. We're pretty light on it, so not much to worry about. Our Virgin Galactic, we did get out of a little bit down there from this long, but this is going to be a big win for us as well, as Virgin Galactic spicy today as we go. So a nice little trade on that one. And yeah, man, it's been a big day. You could see the results at the bottom. The only stock that we've lost on today is this Mr. Beyond Meat, and there it is. I told you it was developing a nice little pattern there. And again, we're too busy celebrating Nikola, and we should have gone short. I did give you this short. I wonder if you guys took this through 168. If we broke it, it does make a move. Oh, look at that rate to VWAP, 165.40. What a great pickup that would have been, guys.
Yeah, here comes that NIO. We did talk about this 20 and then 25. I'll take the first shot here at 20 even going in front of it. I'll probably, if it breaks through and rolls over at 2025, I'll still be involved in that as well. But it's going back to this level of the 18th. That I'll take a shot. And again, it's about being patient. If you started this short when it was at 65, it might have looked like it was rolling over. But I had this target in the second this one started going to the upside. Only really going to be risking a few cents on this trade ultimately, guys. My price is like 95, 96. So it's it's kind of a scalp trade in terms of the downside action. But your downside, of course, if it goes up. But if it does come in all the way back to 1950 isn't crazy. I will start taking it off southbound of 1990 on the way to that price. Again, you're just sort of looking at a level on the upside that makes sense to me, and that was the first look. If you go back a little further, this is why I also like 2025 going all the way back to the 14th of the month, 15th of the month. That could be the next level. I will take another shot at that price as well. But NEO, let's see if it isn't a little bit overheated, up $1 from the open.
All right, and we ain't no fool. We'll take space out again when it comes back to the upside. So we lose about 13 pennies there. Make 9 again on that, so we use equal amounts. Now we're going to wait for the high side here. I'm going to cancel this, actually. We'll wait to see if we can go higher and higher and higher. We just had a bid, an offer at 23 there. We still are long 10, so hoo-ha on that one. Nicola, again, we just took some more out at 90. We are almost flat. About 10% of our position left, and it's probably reading this price, 1860. Yeah, 1863. So just an average price up top there. So yeah, wow, NIO, man. For the win, to say the least. And those of you that are joining me with Hydration Nation, we're a little bit behind today. We're still at the 9 a.m. mark. So we got to start hitting this up, and we will do exactly that. But there we go. Oh, yeah, I thought so, man. The Beyond Meat earnings news was already, we knew this about Walmart, but I guess the fact is that they're tripling up right there. Thank you so much, Jerry, as well, for this super chat. I see you right there. Smash the like for Valeria and the guys. Let's go. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Big show alert. Every day is a big show, and there she is dancing. So if you like that dance, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. But we are ready, I think, for Brendan. What's up, bud?
A couple of things, guys. The clean energy space that's been in play over the past couple of weeks, SPI I'm talking about. There was also that Sunworks, Sun W. Both of those to the downside, but I'm seeing this Polar Power, POLA, a couple of times this morning moving higher. So you can see big volume through day highs there for Polar Power. So a few of them in negative territory. That POLA worth watching, though. Definitely relative strength coming into play there. Speaking of Valeria, yeah, an early dance on the screen there because of the likes. She's watching what is going on over in Europe today. Tell us what is moving, V.
Well, the dance is for 1,000 likes. And yes, Brandon, KLM Air France is down more than 4% after HSBC downgraded the stock to reduced from hold. Back to you.
Yeah, I can't get too far away from those travel names. Some of the airlines not doing a heck of a lot in North America today, but always got to watch that group. Guys.
20 even just broke, so in the first short, out of it, it's looking like it's headed to that 20-25 mark. I did mention this is two levels that I like. Second one is going to be that 20.25. I will start taking it maybe a little bit earlier just because you have a potential of a failed break through 20, so anyone that has this, if it snaps back down, might be having a bit of a trailing stop through that 20, but 20.25 is that next level. Talked about both of these, much like Sorrento at 11, 11.15 and 11.30. Same thing here with NEO, just that 20 and that 20.25. I did start it at 13, which is a little bit sooner. I had that short the first time, very, very tight to that 20 area. This time we'll give it a little bit more room here. NIO starting to go a little bit parabolic here. I'm not letting it go past 20.25. That short terminates at that price.
Yeah, we've been crushing NIO lately, but unfortunately today, I just was finding out why is it doing this, and I do not know. But Beyond Meat, we seek a little bit of revenge on this one. Now 70 cents in the money on this short. Our average price is 67.40 or 67.37. So I guess it was 40 cents. It depends where you take it. So we'll have to wait to see if this one wants to keep crashing down. So 167.37 again on this. We did miss it the first time. It does come back up. So we re-engage in this one using 168 and change as our out. So I do have a bid downside, man, right near VWAP, 165.50 and change. So let's see if that one can come up. That's Beyond Meat. This one, Nicola, man, making a move back to the upside there. So good thing we dropped our positions down to 5% right now on this short. Still 50 cents in the money, though, Brendan.
There's not much, guys, in the way of catalysts for this move to the upside. Deutsche Bank this morning with a positive note on NIO, saying it could be the leader when all is said and done in the group. So Deutsche Bank positive on NIO. There was also this one from yesterday. This was, again, yesterday, but they announced some autopilot features and software that's coming in their next update. So a couple of things moving in the right direction, I guess, for NIO, guys.
All right.
Okay, I mean, like, again, like, none of that's, to me, entirely groundbreaking. Like, it's actually top to bottom. I said $1. I meant $1 from the actual breakout of this move on volume at 10 o'clock. This actually closed at $18.80. Pre-market prices as low as $18.60. So it's like a $1.50 move right now, almost like a, it's pretty significant here, obviously, in NIO. And again, I talked about two levels here. The second Brendan comes in and I see nothing groundbreaking. I did start it at 2030 in front of that 2025. I actually jump into some more shares when it broke 20 here. So 20.08 is going to be my average price now. This is the second short. I've already lost in the first one, guys. Stepping in front of a bit of a moving train here on NIO. But I got a level. I'm working off it. Let's see if we can't get this one to the downside. Brendan, what do you got?
Worth watching some of the betting stocks, some of the gambling stocks here. DKNG, Penn, we can flip over to as well. But big move down there. Looks like some of the Tennessee Titans have tested positive for COVID, guys.
I got none in my fantasy league, so I should be good to go. Obviously, it's bad news for them and bad news for the NFL in general if there are going to be any issues. Baseball seemed to do okay, but if the NFL goes, that's the big boy. In college football. So here comes NIO to the downside. I'm going to go with doing backflips. Got to be a bit persistent with this. I did mention that one of the reasons why I started the second short a little bit earlier than the first, relatively speaking, to the stop was you get that psychological break at 20, and there might be some people, if it snaps immediately back down below that price, that are thinking, oh my gosh, it's got a failed break, got to run to the exits. And then, of course, anybody long at 19 could be thinking trailing stop at that price once it breaks 20. I have all my targets from before are going to remain in place here. First in front of 75 and then 1950 retracement. That's about as far as I would go. Anticipating anything more than that, I think, is a little bit greedy. So I won't be doing it. It's scalp city for us when we have direct market access. So we're going to continue with that.
Okay.
My stop is going to be 2025 no matter what, guys.
Okay, guys, here we go. Backflip Central Time right now. Darn it. We're so close to getting that fill on Beyond Meat here. We are short 167.37, $1.55 now in the money and just crashing back downside here. We're sitting right here, man. We're 165.50 right here, waiting to get printed out, 50 change. So we'll wait to see if it gets. Come on, man. We're so close to getting out of this trade, so that'll be a good one if we can get it. Space right now, back to the high side. So, yeah, that was a big one. Not crickets. We'll hit this one. Big move here on Space. Nice little capture on profit there as we go. So we'll go a little Superman action here as Space. Why not? We're doing Nikola. We're doing Space. We're traveling all over the place today. Good trade here as now it takes out the day's high of $20.40. So there we go, man. This is look what we have on. 35 cents right now on Space. 70 cents here on Nikola as that's making moves back to the downside. $1 we just had. Womp womp. We had $2. Now it's $1. We had $2 there on Beyond Meat. Let's get out here. 166 and change. Make sure that we capture some profit on our 167 short. But yeah, Nikola and Beyond Meat right now and Space, man. Feeling really good on this spicy day. We do actually also have the debate tonight, which I've already told the wife that TV's mine at 9 o'clock, even though I think we have 4 or 5. What's up, Brendan?
CPRX, guys, keep seeing this thing popping up on a volume scanner. They had a lawsuit that was filed for a generic version of one of their drugs, pharmaceutical company, so they have lost that appeal of the lawsuit. So the lawsuit was ruled in favor of the generic being allowed to continue. So it was actually down significantly on that news, but look at this, right back to the upside for CPRX, but big time relative volume on this one, guys.
I'm going to celebrate WWR in a second, but there's a buyer here on NIO at 1888. Just actually threw it into the chat there from what I was seeing every single time it stepped down to this price. And this is several now. You're just seeing someone pick up some shares. It'll get filled and then reload multiple gateways here. So I'm seeing some buy action in front of that price. I've already taken some profit off in front of it. So there's not a heck of a lot to do. But I think the momentum of that break, if it actually breaks it, it gets to 85, I probably want to take out, and I put some orders in here to aggressively get out on the south side of it, just in case that same buyer steps up like 10 or 15 cents lower, I want to have taken some profit off on the way down and take advantage of this trade. So this is my plan. I'm still going to have 25% or so in the event that it does get down to that 1950 price target. But someone stepped up to the plate at 1888. I don't want to ignore that price action when I see it. Nick, this continues to be a good trade in NIO. I just wanted to alert you guys to what I saw on my level 2.
There we go, guys. Money barrels through. Get out of that Beyond Meat right there. 166, just because it's bounced off there. We didn't want to wait for the ultimate low, which is that VWAP, which is where we were waiting. So now we'll hold on to the rest of this one and see if we can make some downside moves here on Beyond Meat. I don't think we retrace it all, but this is where we came from, man. 151. Then the Walmart triples their order, and you get a big time move to the upside. Obviously, it's great news for Beyond Meat shareholders such as myself. But we are going to short this one through VWAP. We're already short, so that's what we're doing. Look at the NASDAQ holding this low here and continuing to push. So there goes Beyond Meat, baby. That's a $2 winner. So a good little win now on Beyond Meat. Again, we're not taking this $2 out. We're going to get greedy and hold for a little bit more. We see what the NASDAQ is doing. We also see this stock, Nikola, downside, man. It goes all the way back upside. We take a little bit out again. Now we're waiting downside. We don't have any bids. But I thought I did have a bid down there. We must have missed it. Don't know if that actually happened, but 1769. Let's put a bid there, 1770, and see if we get out some more Nikola. But right now, guys, 80 cents in the money, 30 cents in the money on Space, and then there's $1.50 in the money on Beyond Meat. Not sure what this one's going to do. We're going to give this one backside to 168, but right now, man, it's been that kind of day, so you're going to get scared right now by a belly dance, but hey, that's what happens when the money just keeps on flying in. We dance for cash around here, baby.
Yeah, and just to continue to slide into the money is that WWR. I talked about this a couple of times. First shot in the pre-market here, but the second shot, it gives you the same entry price, which is always going to be fantastic for you. This is the first target we mentioned, the opening range bottom at 215. I just took some more shares out in front of it. If it's going to give me that 20, 30, 40 cent win in front of that opening range low, I got to be taking some shares off. I still maintain a $2 target. That was 197 previous close. That's where I think we can get back to on WWR. So this short's still working. Neo, as I mentioned, take some shares off when that 88 buyer gets broken in the event that some support steps up on the break. So you have some people looking for that to go short when 88 went. I took shares out at 82 and 80 in front of that price, guys. If it holds sideways action, I still have some shorts on to see if we can get down to that 1960, but just looked a little bit strong around there, and I wanted to make sure I was taking some profit. It is 10:40. Wow. Time is flying. I see a very mixed board up there, but the market is sliding to the downside. Let's go to Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, we are kind of negative overall. The S&P 500 back into the red here, 0.2% to the downside. Mentioned at 10 o'clock, the NASDAQ really showing signs of strength. So we are higher as far as tech shares are concerned. On the software side, Payc, haven't looked at that one, but a really nice move. 3.7% for Payc. Micron, 2.5% in the semiconductor group. To the upside, obviously, Micron ahead of earnings. So aftermarket tonight, we'll see fourth quarter earnings from Micron. That is being dragged, or AMD being dragged along with Micron to the upside. Everything else pretty mixed, as Neil was saying. There's Boeing, 1.4%, CARR 1.3%. The industrials, they are negative. We'll go to this side. Here's the consumer discretionary group. Here's the energy group. So the entire market being dragged down by these two groups, basically. We mentioned 2% to the downside for oil prices today. So all of these getting hit. Devon leading, NOV and EOG, all 4+% in negative territory. In the retail group, there's Gap having a bit of a bad day there, 3%. L Brands, TJX, Ulta Beauty, Expedia, and so on. Under Armour as well, 3.5% to the downside today. Tapestry, 4.2%. Here's some of the hotels and the travel names in here. MGM, Wynn, RCL, CCL, and Norwegian there, all 1.5+% to the downside. So consumer discretionary and energy stocks making up all of the weakness so far. Banks are also in negative territory, but if you come to the diversified financials, you're going to find some names that are positive. So overall, this group is red, but only just slightly. 0.2% on the day for the overall S&P. Let's go back over to Sean.
All right, so Beyond Meat's back up here. We shorted more. We got out a 168 break, but then it failed, so we put on another short. Going to get this one to 168.50. This time more shares than the first. Like I said, we'll keep telling you when we actually have those positions on. Look at Space now. I don't know what else to say about this one, guys. I really, really hope that you're able to take this with me today on this break. Space, what a great trade. We still go upside. We're only holding that 10%, but 10% can be a good one, especially when we are ripping now to the top side. So we'll hit the cowbell for you there. And yeah, if you ever want some chicken dinner winners, man, Virgin Galactic, wow. 2010 right here long. We're now at 2070. So the way we trade, that's good cash right there. We're coming right up to this level. So this could be a good spot to get out. But what a great trade that was on Space, the final frontier. Nikola coming back downside again. I said we put an order at 70. I forgot. So let's do that one more time. We're only into 5% of this one. So meh, not big on that for sure. Let's put Beyond Meat back downside right now. 166.60, 166.50. We'll put a bid there and see if we can't catch a little bit of a wick down here. But good trade there. 70-cent win on Space is fantastic as well.
Yeah, just still seeing that same battle being waged over in NIO. So if you're tracking this one, it's right in those 80s. If it is going to break up here, now, for me, what it makes sense to do is probably give it a bit of room. I was going to originally hold this to 2025, but given the entry points that I have and the fact that you're getting a base here at 1980, I don't think turning it into a big losing trade makes any sense to me. I can always enter into another short off of 2025 if that's going to be the case. So I'll probably give it to the high a day. Also give a look here at what happens at 20 even. What could happen is it could bounce to the upside right off this 1990, and if it takes out 20, and snaps right back down, that could be a trigger for me to take some more shares short in an IO here. For now, I'll stick with what I have. My two entry points on the second short were 13, and then again at 1999 here on the south side of 20 even. I would add if it fails at 20 one more time, but for now, we'll just hang on to what we got, guys. I do want to take you, and just very, very briefly, we'll go back to JE. I'm going to be shorting in that range. I talked about this sort of 7 even area. There was one wick up. Its volume is starting to taper off here. There was a wick up on a dark pool up to 7. Didn't really break that price. So I'm going to stay shorting it in front of that price all day long as it's below 7 even. I should be short over in New York on JE. Last one, I want to go back to INO. This one's already come back, but the breakout price from yesterday, we had a great long, was at 12. This little higher low being put in right here at $12, guys. So if INO wants to pull back a little bit further, flat on the day is 12.14. Instead of going long, I'll be looking for a short off of 12 even on INO. Could come any second. Now, worth noting, there is a bit of a bid here. If you do go to the level 2, you are going to see 100,000 shares on the bid. If I can quickly show you, 100,000 shares on the bid here at 12 even. So if that goes, I'm looking to short off that price.
Okay, yeah, Neo missed that one up there at 2025. That would have been a good trade for sure. But, I mean, here goes, I don't know. This is right at that level now. We probably should get some of this out, Space, and just end the trade. We are right here. I mean, we're still, maybe we don't. This is 75-cent winner on board right now on Virgin. So, big trade alert, obviously, off of this long. We've tweeted that out. It was on our watch list. You can find me at TraderTV, Sean, all of us on Twitter as well, at TraderTV Live is the handle there. But $20.90 to the upside right here. Yeah, this may be a good spot. We've identified this as a little bit of an area there. Should have just got out instead of talking about it right there. But nice play for SRNE. No, SPCE. I do see some talk about Sorrento making the move back down. We've crushed. Sorrento was a great stock for us today, so there's absolutely no doubt about that. It is making a move back to the downside. You can watch out for some of this VWAP break. That's for sure. Nikola back downside again. We got to put an order in the 70s. We'll do that right now. We'll bid somewhere here in the 70s. We'll see if it can crack back down. Here comes the market to the downside. We do have a decent position, probably our largest of the day right here for Beyond Meat. And we are short again on this fail break of 168.50, but we're in the money right now, 58 cents on this one, 79 cents on Nikola, 70 cents here on Space, or 60 cents on Space. This one probably will take it out, but let's just hope Beyond Meat can crack down. Where am I bidding? In the 60s right now, but we're bidding 61. Can we get filled? Nobody knows, but I do. Bang! A nice little win right there. So we'll hit the air horn for a nice win. $1.25 on that Beyond Meat. I told you it was a large position for us. Still have it on board. So let's see if Beyond Meat can continue the tank side, downside, as Nicola back down to day's low. And man, you know your boy has some Nicola on board.
Yeah, and of course, NIO also sliding downside when the market's coming back in. So some of these high-flying names run into resistance, come back, didn't give up on this trade, got back into it after the 20 break. Just got some shares off on the south side of that 1975. Going to continue to hold to 1960 and then takes them out. 1950 has been the ultimate target all along. I'm not going to necessarily waver from that. It's a strategy, a structure of the trade that I'm going to work with, so I will stick with that idea. I do want to quickly jump us back to SHLL. This has been just slow, sideways, sleepy action. I do still feel like if it puts in the only way I'm going to go long in this one is if it puts in a lower high off of a 48.50 level. I think at that point maybe you get a little bit of something back to the upside, but I anticipated that this one might be a bit more of a mover than it is, and it's putting me to sleep over here, so I'm probably not going to have any executions in SHLL. It is what it is. That USEG that you guys have been looking at, the only way I start entering into some of these trades is if it gets out of this halt every few minute phase and starts stabilizing some price action. The volume looks pretty good at 9 million, but it just cannot get out of its own way. It cannot stay open for very, very long. There's not much of an actionable trade here for me that makes any sense until I see some stabilization, and it might not happen until the afternoon. But NEO does continue to fall to the downside, but holding a little bit this 1970. Some buyers stepping up every 15, 20 cents. They haven't been able to turn it back to the upside, but providing some support on the way down. Brendan, what do you got?
Another one kind of grinding back to the downside here. Abbott Laboratories was still positive, but we were up significantly more. They announced after market yesterday, you can see a big move up, that their COVID-19 test kit was finally going to be available into the marketplace as of today. So that test available today. But overall, the stock really not doing anything. Actually going to break to new lows here for ABT. Guys.
All right, and we're actually looking at breaking to new lows right now on Beyond Meat of the minute anyways. We are cracking. We're trying to get this back down to 165. Look at the bounce spots here. So we're $1.50 in the money. We've bounced like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all 1 minute chart. This is all 1 minute candles. So 6 times off the 1 minute, plus you get some consolidation here. So this is probably a great price to get out. We already got out of a third of our trade downside, but if I can put a bid in here, 165, 80 or 70, I think that's probably worth it. We did do the same thing on Nicola. We talked about that one coming back to the downside. You can see we're hella short this one all the way to the bank, and you guys know that we've been excited for that. So good trading there, and we're just going to try to find some more names for you. Genius Brands is down to, I don't know, $1.20. We can definitely have a look there as well. Doing some volume, 10 million shares. Not really doing anything, just came up on a little bit of a volume scanner there, but not doing anything. I do like NIO. I mean, this normally, I'm all over NIO, and I just wish I would have hit that. Yesterday, we were hella long that stock, and again, you know, it looks like it is making a base down here, 1960, a good little one. You could get a run back upside here through 1980, so watch out for that one if you're looking at NIO 1980, 81 long, guys.
Yeah, I actually just got some shares. You talked about that little base there, Sean. Just got some shares out at 64, so we'll do a little bit of backflip. Basically almost all out here with just that last 20% left. And that was that 1950 target that we do like. I'm going to go ahead at this point, now that we've tested this retracement price of 1960. Now I'll actually have a stop at 1995 or so, or 20 even. Somewhere in that price range area stop to ensure this cannot turn into a losing trade. There has been buying on the way down, as I had mentioned to you guys. So I don't want to have this turn from a winner to a loser, and 2025 still holds. I like that price as well. Brennan, what do you got?
There's a little bit of news on Molson Coors today, guys, that we didn't get to. They're teaming up with Coca-Cola to manufacture and distribute in the U.S. a hard seltzer called Topo Chico Hard Seltzer from Molson Coors. So TAP still up 2.3% here. It was significantly higher, 36 there in the pre-market, but trying to break to new lows, as we've seen with a few names. Back to you guys.
Okay, guys, space, look at that, man. Comes all the way back up. And there it is, maybe the best trade here. Today we'll hit the home run on space as we talked about the Blue Jays and Major League Baseball coming back on board today. But look at that, it comes right back upside. We did miss this ultimate run, but we snuck an order in there and made sure to grab that out at 67. So a good little out there. Oh, yeah, Beyond Meat. What a great trade. This one's turning out to be seeking revenge on you, Beyond Meat. So we'll floss it off again. Beyond Meat just took that out for $2 on the downside. Sorry, $1.82 out at 166.07 there. So $1.80 win on that one. Nicola now making moves as well. Back to the downside. Wow. Don't know if that was true or not, but did we just touch 1750 on that downside? What a move that's been. And then Neo, we tried a little one there at 1980. We're only going to give it back down to this break here. 1965, so that could happen. We're going to hold on to a little bit of Neo here. Not a big stick trade. You guys know we'll always talk about that. So, but right now we'll see if Neo can fail off that bottom and retrace back to the upside. But like I said, not going to hold this one all the way up on no news. So we'll wait and we'll get out of that one. But wow, Beyond Meat, man, comes all the way back up. Look at that. We talk about education. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 6 bottoms there. 7, 8, 9. That's why we take that out. Good trade there for Beyond Meat after a couple bad ones early on. But Brendo at the big screen with Money Talks. Tell me about that Canadian dollar.
Had to double check, but it's lower on the day, even with the US dollar kind of hanging out, really not doing a lot. It was higher initially. Now we're coming back to the downside. But so is the Canadian dollar there. Yeah, down almost 2% or 0.2%, 74.6 for the CAD right now. Yeah, US dollar was slightly higher. Now we're in negative territory ahead of obviously the presidential debate. Lots of things to be discussed, I guess, in the debate tonight. So a lot of these higher today with the US dollar creeping back to the downside. I highlighted the Australian dollar here because we're finally getting a bit of a bounce back, 0.6% for the Aussie, back to 71.2. This is that move down we've been talking about over the past, multiple days. 4 or 5 days straight to the downside, went from 73.5 all the way down to 70 cents, bouncing today off 70 cents back to about 71 and change, 71.2 for the Aussie. New Zealand, same story, up 0.5% on the weakness in the USD, 65.8 for New Zealand. British pound also higher. Both of these kind of doing opposite today, Swiss franc and Japanese yen. Not much movement in cryptos today as well. Bitcoin did give up that 10,800 support level, down 1.2%. Ethereum as well following suit, almost 2% to the downside today. Let's go back over to Neil.
Just jumping back over to INO, I did mention to you guys, yesterday it was a 12 break to the long side. Today, it's a 12 break to the short side. We sort of lined this one up as it was coming back in. Negative on the session. My first target is going to be, like, it's a little obvious here, in front of that 1180. That's the opening range low. The pre-market, it was down at 1130 if you go back far enough here. But I'm going to start taking shares out in front of 1180. It's a 96 short that I was able to get off the 12 break. So like we can give it back to VWAP or 1220, something in that range. I like an area stop on this name. It is a 1-cent spread. So it is stable, it's got good volume, but I still prefer an area stop and watch this one on my level 2 just to be sure. I will track you guys back to Neo, and I just mentioned in the chat here, congrats, Daryl. Good short there, one of our members looking at NIO. Around the same levels that we talked about here, and this one popping up when it broke towards that $20 area. There's so much volume on the way back down, buying this up at these consolidation points, so that's why I'll always take profit out. I do still have some shares on. If it breaks this 1960, of course, 1950 is the ultimate target. Watch out. If it holds this, makes another run through the top, 2025 is still going to be the level. I know the high of the day is 2015. I won't be working off that. If it comes back to the upside, I'll be working off of 2025. That's where we looked at it on the daily chart. That's what I'll stick with. Brennan, what do you got?
Just saw an interesting note here from Wells Fargo on Beyond Meat. Wells Fargo saying, if they had a long position or if they were long Beyond Meat, they might consider taking some profits after this Walmart news. So WFC to the downside, really not going to affect that stock, but Beyond Meat we've all seen 10.5% to the upside. But Wells Fargo thinks it's time to take some off if you're long Beyond Meat, guys.
It is going sideways off of some consolidation here in a lower high off of 170, so it's not actually crazy to take. I mean, you can take a break here. 165 is obviously breakdown spot here, but the other way to play it would just be to jump into the sideways consolidation, give it up to either the lower high or the high of the day, or even the 170 mark if you like that one on Beyond Meat. I actually, at this time, it's almost 11 o'clock, guys. I'm going to usually prefer, it's got to test higher. I don't want to take it right in here at VWAP. It's either testing higher and giving you another short at a better price, or the breakdown trade at 165. I think that's kind of the way to go here. It's been a crazy morning. Obviously, a lot of executions here. I'm actually over 200, which is for me a heck of a lot, and I'll review some of what was going on in Fitbit as well for you guys. But I don't want you to forget, because today we are dropping it. For those of you that saw the taping, it was a lot of fun. But Valeria's journey, how did she come over to Trader TV Live? How did she get into this space? How did she get involved with us crazy buggers over here, Sean Brennan and myself? It's an interesting one. It was fun to watch when taping it. It is dropping on our Market Wisdom channel in just under an hour before we get to the end of the show here. So I do really hope you guys tune in. All of our journeys were a lot of fun to do, and I know you guys wanted to see Valeria's personal journey towards Trader TV Live. Another crazy mover here, and I haven't touched it yet today. We don't have any shorts on APM, at least last I checked, but it is starting to glide back to the upside. Here is the word I want to use. Very, very slowly climbing. I'd watch out for any kind of a potential re-squeeze. Is that even a word? To the upside. First thing I would look at is this $12 consolidation. If it breaks that, you're likely to see a bit of a squeeze, and then I'd be watching for a $14.30 price. If I could short it, that's where I would at least think about it. If it can't break through there, maybe it's terminated. If it goes through both those prices, you're likely to have a halt and a squeeze to the upside. Brennan, what do you got?
Yeah, re-squeeze of a squeeze is a lot of squeezing. JMIA, another one just popping up here on a volume scanner here, guys. Big move through 850 there, had a big volume spike, which is kind of the top end of the daily range. Not seeing anything in the way of news on this one, but recent high flyer, JMIA, up 10% today.
Gonna recap a couple of positions here. I did mention JE. I was just gonna be net short this one, and as long as it's below 7 even. It's a little bit deceiving here because it's come so far down. This was a 33-to-1 a reverse split. So, you know, it's basically a 20-cent stock at this point, which is right back to where it was before. So as long as it continues to grind to the downside, I had a couple of entry points. I added to my position, so my average price like 677 or so. I'd like to see it break down below that low of day. I might take some off in front of 650 just because, you know, 75, 650, 625, that kind of a thing. But it needs to slide further. It's not really threatening to the upside at all. There was a great short off the open. Obviously should have had that one. I didn't. We actually had to pay for shorts on this. Although I could have also jumped in, traded in Toronto where I wouldn't have had to pay. It is what it is. I traded in Toronto previously because it was a penny stock and it was a bigger spread in Toronto versus the U.S., which was advantageous above $1. That's no longer the case. That's why I'm jumping back into New York on JE.
We jumped back into NEO as well. We dumped some of them here on that 60 break. We talked about that. Now we're back in again at 81, so we'll take a little bit off there at 85 and see if we can't get this one back to the high side there. Nicola, man, yeah, day's low, so that's a big one for sure. Tonight's election time, so we'll see what happens with that. Ripping up some paperwork here. Let's see if Nicola's stock is worth anything here soon. Down to 17 and change. Wow, what a fall. On that GM news, guys, you know that this one went to $54. So yikes on that one. NEO, we should have got, I guess, all of them out at 85. I don't know. We'll wait to see here if this one can get back to the upside here. That is NIO, giving that one some room to breathe as well. And then, yeah, our Beyond Meat trade. I mean, this is $1 in the money. We're not taking these. We'll just wait to see if it does break back downside here on what should be a market pretty quiet into the rest of the day. I do think it's probably more downside than upside just due to the election and some of the rhetoric that'll probably be spit back and forth at each other. So we'll wait to see. But right now, Beyond Meat is that $1 in the money. And here we go. NEO back to the upside. We're waiting at 88 to get some of these out, guys.
Yeah, just, I mean, AAL just absolutely crushed. I see you guys talking in the chat here. Just another leg to the downside. It just had a bit of a low-end break. like it's only like a 10-cent move, but it's already down 50 pennies from the open, starting to get under pressure here with the rest of the market. Now, obviously, there has been some talk, stimulus packages, whether or not they're going to get further breaks from the government. That all is pending, and that's going to be a big catalyst. How long can they hold out? You're getting increasing rise in cases. No one's jumping on planes, which, oddly enough, you get a big run in Virgin Galactic because people want to go to space, but they won't even get back on a plane. I don't know about that, guys.
Yeah. Virgin Galactic making the big moves upside. Planes, trains, and automobiles going to be in trouble for a bit until they get that vaccine, which is already here, but they got to test it and make sure that we're good to go on that one. So watch out for anything travel related. I've said that over and over again. You got to wait. I would rather wait until the vaccine is taken and absorbed by the majority of the people that will be taking said trip. So for me, getting long on CCL and waiting on something just long term, I'm only talking about, same as AAL. I think that those are opportunities that you got to sort of wait for a little bit here. NEO, you get in at 81. Look, it's a bad trade when you're in at 80 and out at 66. But we did make a little bit back here, getting out at 85 and 86 again. But yeah, if this comes backside and fails once again, we're not going to hold on to this one. Through 70, we will get out. Beyond Meat, $1.50 in the money. Nikola, $1 in the money. So I guess I can absorb a 2-cent hit right here. It looks like it's Valeria right now if we're ready with the European update.
Hey guys, welcome to the European update. Europe is choppy, mostly negative. Britain is down 0.64%. Germany is down 0.64% also. Italy is down 0.65%, and France is down 0.42%. At the bottom of European blue chip index is Natixis, down more than 4%. That's all with the Europe. Back to traders.
Thank you very much, Valeria. A couple of things grinding to the downside. INO did take some shares out in front of the first target. We've got 96 is short, first leg out for a 10-cent win. I am going to get some more out in front of 1180, as we mentioned. And then you have this sort of opening or pre-market chop range at 75. I'll take some out there if it continues to slide down. JE as well, as I mentioned, no reason not to be. Well, obviously I'm short here, but no reason not to be short below 7 even. It is starting to grind down. First target I'm starting to take out in front of 650, as I mentioned. If it goes through there, 625, it could be like a 15, relatively like a 15-cent stock if you do that little conversion, guys. So it was 33 to 1. It is a split. You see splits sell off all the time. It's not incredibly shocking that it does here. I was watching that HUSA try to grind back up one more time. It's starting to get a little bit more stable, I would say, is the best word to use. So I'm watching this like 5 to 525 area. If that gets taken out to the upside, you might see a bit of a squeeze, a further squeeze. I would be shorting in front of it if we had the shortable shares. Otherwise, you're basically looking for a re-squeeze or some kind of stabilization sideways and support. I haven't seen enough of it yet to take any long in that regard, so it's probably just a break to the upside of 525, and then just a quick little scalp trade on that momentum into high of day, which is 636.
Okay, so Beyond Meat's $1.15 in the money. We're still looking around for some more news. Let's check out that JMIA. NIO, that's the one we're looking at, but we already have our stop order in JMIA. I heard that one as we refilled up. Okay, 870, interesting news on that. Oh, I did want to give a big thanks to the Draper family, and you are welcome, my man, for Beyond Meat and Space today. 2 stocks. I'm not profitable on Beyond Meat, but we are very profitable on Space, so you are welcome. Warrior is a pumper. I know what you're talking about, and I can't comment, but yeah, probably. So are these guys shorters? No, we are not. Everything else, Workhorse making lows of the day here. Everybody. Oh, I found something up here that I want to talk about here. This is kind of cool, Ench. These guys are the real deal, like Evander Holyfield, except for I have all my ears. So I have not fought Mike Tyson yet. Aww. So there we go. But I do have a quote up on my Instagram about it's from Mike Tyson. It's like it's one of my favorite quotes of all time from the great philosopher Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan till you get punched in the mouth. So there you go. Mike Tyson with Evander Holyfield. I'd rather be Mike than Evander.
Well, obviously, I mean, yeah, it's anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about there, you got to check that one out. If you're squeamish, maybe not. But Mike's fighting Roy Jones, which I don't know if I would be stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. Good luck with that. You're giving up a little bit of weight, and you guys are both old. One punch could be a heck of a lot of trouble. I promised I would at least go over what was going on in Fitbit a little bit earlier. I told you guys I would short off of a $7 price. It's a $7.35 deal. It's possibly getting the European approval when it comes to antitrust. Not till December 23rd, so it's a lot of time. I've been shorting it at will in front of it. I had one big one that I told you I'd get out in front of the 80s. And then I waited patiently for it to fail at 7 again. They've just been heavily shorting it, basically just making spread. It looks like it's going to stabilize here and only give you spread opportunities. The real short for any growth was when it did test up that first time, right at that open. You could get like a 5-10 cent win like I did. So it might be done with that trade for the rest of the day, but it was a solid one. We talked a little bit about HUSA. I want to quickly just jump back over to that INO because it is coming right back to my entry price at 12 even. I'm going to look to roll back into some shares here. I did take some off for profit. I'm going to be reloading in front of that 12 as long as it can hold, but I only catch them on the way down. If it breaks up, I'll give it to VWAP for a re-entry point, but if it turns here, I'll just short it in front of 12. I like to catch on the way down, not on the way up. I will give an opportunity that it goes to like 13 or 14. 12.20 has been the stop the whole way.
Yeah, I'm the one doing nothing here on these positions and just waiting for something to happen. NEO does come all the way back up. Upside right now, so there goes NEO. My offer's at 88. We do like that one if it can get back up to 88 right now, but we are long right now, 81s. Just an update here. You may see me into Beyond Meat again at a different price. I got in and out there by accident. My stop order triggered, or I made a keystroke error and got out. But we did get right back in at that same price. That's why you see in and outs. And we are about to get taken out here on a 50 break. There it is. So Beyond Meat, good rebound, man. This was a fantastic bunch of trades here, but we do lose on the last third, so we'll hit the chicken dinner winner, but it's not fake chicken. These winners are real chicken. Brendan, what's up, bud?
One from yesterday, guys. You remember that AMBO Education? They expanded their arrangement with Amazon to offer some of their software and technology on Amazon. So just watching $4 here. It tested it once already this morning, but trying to get back up to $4 was resistance yesterday. Down on the day, obviously, but doing some volume once again, guys.
You had me at volume. Obviously, you can put it on a lower high on something like AMBO. And the other thing, too, is when you go to the higher time frame, you do have all these tests of 4 and snaps back to the downside. So it makes me like that just even more off of this level. The only issue is going to be you had some volume spikes going through. It's really tapering off in terms of volume right now. That's a good sign because it usually means the buying is done, but it also means that it could be tricky getting into position without paying spread. I would like it off of a 4 even test, but I'd almost need to see it come down below 375, and liquidity is very, very sparse on AMBO. So I'll stay away from AMBO for now. If I see something spike, I'll probably jump over to it. Just going back to American Airlines, I didn't really see any headlines, and Brendan didn't see anything either, but it's starting to bottom out here at 12.25. I mean, the market's kind of holding up at 33.30. Here, it's worth sort of going back, and if my 15 will load on American Airlines, that's going to be good enough. You're going to watch this a couple of sessions ago. This was the top right here at 12.30. So if we hold this level on AEL, break back above that 12.30 price from the 25th, that could be a bit of a retracement here on American Airlines. Give it to that low a day. It's only like 5 cents worth of risk, and it's the opposite of that sort of fade, a move to the upside. This is more like catching that little bottom once you find a significant level. 12.30 would be that level for me, and there's not much size in the offer, but it's holding right here, right now at that 12.30. Just tested it once and failed. If it goes back through, there's probably a scalp back into VWAP as long as the market doesn't flush. But you give it to the low of the day either way.
All right, we'll do a little dice roll there because we did roll the dice here on NEO, and it's paying off right now as it's starting to make moves back to the upside. A nice little 8-penny winner. We took some out there, 87 and 88. Now let's hold and see if we can't. I mean, we're right at this level, man, 92, 93. We do have an order at 94. It's bounced off here a couple times. This may be another breaking spot. So let's take a little bit more out. You do see some big size here. 51 million shares, though, man. I don't really think that that'll be too much of an issue for us right here, but 51 million shares could be a problem to break what was there at 90. It was only about like 50,000, 60,000 shares. So hoping that does break there and we get some more out at 89. So that's a good one. Pigs do get slaughtered. We always do talk about that. Thanks for joining the show, man. If you haven't yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe. But, we've talked about this over and over. A little more importantly, guys, if you can, hit the share, give it to some of your friends. We talked about the community. We cracked, I think, 6,500 viewers. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. So the show is rocking and rolling. Pick up your merch on our website, Trader TV mugs, man. Thank you for everything. It's been such a great run for us here on the show. And the trading, believe me when I tell you, the trading is going to get infinitely better. We have earnings season coming up. I don't know if our performance is going to get better, but the volume's coming. The names are going to get more. And it's a great time to sign up for our watch list. Trader TV Live. Valeria has the links on there as well. But Brendan, my sales pitch is over. Give us some names, bud.
Yeah, love it. Let's go to QDEL, guys. QDEL up 5% today. A little bit thinly traded, so tread lightly. I'll preface it with that. But they are another one with an antigen test that they have now tripled the production capacity of. So they announced this morning that they're going to be able to make 3 times as much of this antigen, or sorry, not a test, a vaccine or potential vaccine. So $200 at the open there. We're up to $210, guys.
Big mover. Big move to the downside on JE here. I'm short a couple of times here in the 70s, and then another reload here at 686. I just took some more shares out in front of 650, right there at 655. So, like I said, take that first 25-cent win. If it breaks 50s, we'll wait for the quarters for it to continue to come down. I saw a question in the chat. A couple of direct listings tomorrow, Palantir and what was the other one? It slips my mind. Right, it slips my mind. It'll come up in a second. It begins with an A. Will we trade them tomorrow? Heck yeah. Now, there's no guarantee when these things will open, but we're definitely. That's why I said both direct listings.
Oh man.
Literally what we just said. So you get a couple.
No, I'm saying they are. I'm saying okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna trade them. It's just you never know what to expect. You can have a plan of action going in. When Snowflake came, of course, the Snowflake the IPO. Plan of action, I had bids the entire way. It was like 120 was the indicated open price, or so was the issue price. It kept indicating higher and higher. I had bids, and once it was above 200, that was kaputs for me, so I didn't end up trading it until eventually shorting it off of a fail at 300. Sean, I know, was talking about going long the whole way, and everyone was adjusting their plan of action. You don't know exactly where these things are going to open, so yes, we're going to be looking at it and trading it if we can. But there's always a price that I'm unwilling to pay for any of these when they come through. In JE, it's basically anything. I will not be going long this stock today. Continuing the short, there is a 650 break. I don't think I went long the first day when there were some short squeezes going on, but those were literally like 10, 15-minute positions. Everything else has been short, as this has just been constantly coming back in, and now the reverse split, another reason to sell.
Yeah, 670 there. What a great position there on JE. Okay, NEO, we did take some out. We did identify, obviously, that 90.91 was the top there. But we'll see now the market coming off a little bit, but nothing major. I'm going to hold on to the rest of these and give it until the backside here. We'll find out another target for you on where we're going to get out. But yeah, Spotify and Work, the 2 big direct listings. But now Palantir coming tomorrow. So that should be really interesting to see how that comes through as well. Okay, just looking at Nile. Yeah, not doing much.
Oh, it's Asana. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's Asana. Yeah. Let's check out DraftKings. I think they're both technology companies. Let's just wait to see here on DraftKings. Makes that move down. Brendan comes with the news there on the Tennessee Titans. I think it was, 2 players and 3 coaches, something like that. That seems to be pretty small. Remember, every NFL team has 60 players on the field. So, and I think it's 40 coaches. So each team about 100 people. We will wait to see on that one. Remember, they are traveling back and forth. So some of those teams are going to have that problem. That would have been a great opportunity to pick up some DraftKings, but I would have got stopped out. Let's be perfectly honest. It would have been too choppy down here to play anything. So right now, we're going to look at this kind of a level back up through 58. If that does happen, hopefully some people will get the same ideas that I do there, that it's not a major story really after all, but it could lead to more. So if you're scalping this one, I think it's a good play through this high of 57.80. If you did want to wait for 58, I wouldn't blame you for that one. But we did get as high as 60, which I believe is all-time highs. And yes, it is for DraftKings there today. So DraftKings makes all-time highs, a little bit of a negative Nancy news story there, and it comes back in. So let's look to get long DraftKings.
Yeah, and just going back over to NIO here, guys, I did move my stop, as I mentioned, to this like 1995. You're seeing it test once again. I'm still holding the short. I have 99s to the short side when we got re-entered into this position. I'm not jumping into more shares, and I did mention to you guys that there was some significant buying at a couple of levels on the way down, so I'm not going to step in front of it and grab some more longs haphazardly. I'll go with an out here just below that 20 mark. If it breaks that, I'm looking towards 2025 as a bit of a high. And speaking of highs, SRNE, there is that 1130 that gave a quick break that I got triggered into and then got the shares a little bit late. And then it just gave this little wick to the upside, testing through the high. So it hasn't really taken this top off until I think it shows you a bid above. And now it's going to look like 1135 is that high. So if I don't see a bid above it, I'm not taking that breakout trade. It's starting to taper off in terms of volume. But this was the test that we were looking for. This was the price. If we go back to the 15 here, this is that price that it had to hold through. It is trying to go. I do think there's an opportunity that you're going to get a bit of a long break on the Sorrento. It's a great short below that price. If it holds, I might even wait till 11 even on the downside for any kind of a re-entry into a short position. I just need to see a bid above that 1135, and that just hasn't happened yet.
Okay, here we go, guys. You want to talk a little bit about some long-term positions? I'll give it to you. You guys like some investing talk. I'll give you one right here. It's going to be a little bit of a risk, but it might be a surprise to you guys. But Weed Batman is in the building right now. Look, if the Democrats sweep somehow and get control of the House and whatever, marijuana will start to be coming back on a lot of the forefront here. And look at CGC. It's just made some bottoms, man. 1280, 13 and change. Worst bottom 10 all the way down here. Recent bottom 1384. Today up 3%. I don't think that's a surprise on this kind of an election note day. Obviously, it's just going to be to see how well Biden does and Donald Trump do together on stage. So 1480, this is going to be my call right here. Canopy, if the Dems get in, watch out, man. We take out 23, then we take out 25. I'm not just saying this because I am a bag holder. This is just what I'm giving it to all of you guys right now. I think Canopy, CGC, buy the best of the best. You could also buy Tilray as well, but Acreage Farms and Holdings there. CGC owns a lot of licenses, so that's going to be my call. You heard it right there, right now. CGC on what appears to be a Democratic presidential win right now. Therefore, it could, just by the polls, it could make moves back to the upside, definitely taking out this 50 period. Let's just see who takes control, Democrats or Republicans. If it's Democrats, then I do like the cannabis sector. Brendan?
I'm not even, this is very strange, but almost right on cue. I'm going to show you my Trade Ideas platform here, our friends at Trade Ideas. Literally as Sean is speaking, CGC popping up on my volume alert list here, 1 million on the day for CGC. So you can see it just took the top off there as Sean was making that little pitch. Through 1450, big volume spike. If you flip over to Cron, yeah, same story. So some of these cannabis names starting to go, guys.
Starting to come back to the upside as well.
There we go.
Before sliding down, the market's still holding the low, but we mentioned AAL, a couple of legs down. It held that 1225, 1224 is actually the low of the day. I said if it gets back above 30, look to get into position in front of that bottom of the day, just to see if we can work it back up to a 1250, just past that little VWAP. So I did start at 34. I'd like to get a price a little bit closer to 30 on the way back in here. And just to update another one, INO, I did reload in this. I said if it got back to that 12 price and then tested, I try to catch it on the way back down. So first time it tried, I took some more at 12. Second time it held at 12.10. I got some more shares just at like 12.03. Still short on INO. Still looking to see if it can break down to that 11.75 and then 11.50 area. 32 is the low of the day. I'm not necessarily holding for that absolute bottom. JE is the other short that we have on. This continues. Just got some more shares out at 6.38. So that short, fantastic 40-cent winner. And I'm still holding on, guys. Even if it pulls back, I'm probably going to be looking to reload at 75s and 80s. If I can get like 90s and 95s, of course I will. Probably don't need those orders now that we're like 50 pennies away from them. But JE, no reason to get out of this short trade for me. But AAL is the one long I do have in a market that's headed southbound. NEO, like I said, not adding to it. I did take it off. It's not a losing trade, but it's close to break even on that last little bit. It just had a lot of buying down here at 1960. I will not be touching it until it gets and tests back to that 2025. That's the next price that we're going to be watching very, very heavily on NIO.
Yeah, we're doing backflips because we have that long on NIO. We just get taken out there upside 92s, 93s, 96, just took out some 97s. You guys know where we're long 81s right now on this name. So, yeah, I don't think it gets back upside here, but the market is kind of rallying a bit. So we are going to take off the profit, and we have literally 20% left. So lose on this part, that is about 14 or 15 cent loss. Now we're coming back into this trade up now 17 or 18 cents, but we have dumped it. So it's not, we will lose on this trade because we did get out some there, but we did get back in right now at 1980 when we did see that fail break down. Should have loaded up down here, but missed it. Now we go to the upside 1996, 1920. So good little trading there on NEO to the backside. We'll watch DraftKings again. I keep talking about that 57.33. DKNG. That would have been the stock that we would have liked to take on that bottom. Brendan gave the news. I think it was like around, I'm not sure when exactly. It must have been around here, 59, because you do see a nice little drop there on some of that news. But this would have been the spot to pick it up, I think. If I can draw a line for you, it would have been right about here. 57, just when you're breaking back above. We sort of cleared all of this, and that would have given you about that 50-cent window to try to enjoy the move back to VWAP, which would have been about 80 or 90 cents, which is what we're coming up to right now. So a good little breaking spot here, but it's a little too extended for me. I would have loved to have gotten long down here. This move could be backside right now, so I'm going to stay away from it. But here we go. Look at the size right now. You want some education? Here we go. Size on NIO. I'm going to drop this down just so you guys can see this. A lot of you probably have not seen level 2s like this. So every single order that you see on here, every pending share is times 100, right? So we have the ability to have that up on our level 2. Of course, we're long at 81s, so it's a nice little 19-cent win right now. But this is what can happen when a stock sees that size. It'll run away from it, right? So we'll see if there's enough momentum right now. I don't know if there is in the market to fill this, but NEO right here coming up to that level. This is a good spot. We're going to get out of some of our shares and watch to see what happens here at 20. But I'm really glad we're able to show that to you because, like I said, not only is it about trading, but we're trying to give you guys some education. And there's a stock running away from size temporarily.
Yeah, I mean, that's at this time of day, it's not even a bad idea. We have direct market access, so when I say this, it's a grain of salt. You get shares that short at 98 and 99. You take them out at like 94, 95. It's a rinse and repeat. You're risking a couple of pennies if 20 breaks. I want to take you guys to WWR. Every now and then you get one of these ones. It's just a retracement trade that it never really tests the level up. And this was the 275 that we gave in the pre-market. I shorted 61s. Got a bunch out in front of the pre-market low. Then held through thinking it would take out this 220 where there was a breakout in the afternoon yesterday. It came right back up, gives the same entry again, falls short of that 75 area. I actually have to get short in the 50s. Again, take it out in front of that low. It then test towards the bottom, get a 40-cent win. Now it's headed towards 197. That was previous close. 2 even. Any turn around that price, I will be out and all done on this trade in WWR. So every now and then you get that structure that works out perfectly. It goes right to your plan and you're happy with it and you go with the hot dog action. And I'm using hot dog today because it's baseball playoffs and there's nothing better than a brew and a dog for some playoff baseball. I'm going to enjoy it today. Of course, I will not be very happy if the Toronto Blue Jays lose. It is what it is. They're a young team. Good luck to them and down with the Yankees, guys. Oh, Brendan. Got something for us.
We'll talk about Shipper here, CMRE, Costamare Incorporated, little holding company, but primarily involved in the container shipping business. Just went to day highs there on a volume spike, 10.5%. It was Citigroup out this morning with a double upgrade on CMRE, guys.
Okay, we're going to try a little test here of Nikola. Take a decent position right now. I just wonder if we've made the bottoms down here through 65. Just make sure I put the stop order at the right spot there. So yeah, we'll wait to see. I got to change it a little bit, but we'll wait to see. We did take some more shares here on Nikola. We do like it. We are watching NEO right now trying to break through 20. So good luck. We just took some more shares out there at 98. We're going to hold for a little bit. I do like the momentum to the upside. You see the market rocking upside as well. well. So good trade here. We'll wait to see if it does fade off. Again, I have 25% of my position left on, so we have taken that. The reason why is if it does break, we probably go to at least a 03, 04, 05. So I think it's a little bit worth it, but it's bounced its head off here a couple times. Maybe we'll take a little bit more out on this move right here, guys.
Yeah, and a bit of a bid did finally appear on Sorrento above that 1135, so I'm starting the long break here above that 1130. Got to give it to at least 11.15. Even a dip I'll take a shot at, just because we'll go back here and show you on the 15. Had the 3 up there for when looking at NIO, but I just feel like this level break is a little bit too good. It tested 11, tested 11.15, then you get this 11.30. This is a nice little ramp off point, the kind of thing that could run all throughout the afternoon. So I want to give it a little bit of room here to see if Sorrento will finally go. First entry point is at 36. I'd wait for like 25s and 15s for any kind of a pullback or dip buy. Otherwise, it's just a breakout here and maybe even adding shares at 11.50. I'd scalp some out in front and then add either on a pullback or add on an 11.50 even break. In WWR, because I don't know where it's going to turn, I've just trailed my stop here, so if it breaks back above the teens at 215, I will cover. My last entry was at 249, so that'll be a nice win either way, guys. I'm very, very happy with that trade. Just want to go back over to USEG. Only 35 minutes to go. This stock here, if I had the shorts, I'd be looking at this halt price now. It's at multiple halts. But this one here, below this 1465 being tested, I think that would be a bit of a short in front of that 65, where no way I'd hold above it. It's starting to slow down, pick up in volume just a little bit on the way up here. That's why I'd identify that level. But if it goes 70 cents higher, it could be squeeze time. And I can only go long. That means I can only participate in what I think will be a momentum squeeze. Not anything fundamental in USEG here, but it would be 1465 where that would trigger.
And giddy up again, guys. It's backflip time. We just gave you Nikola, and there it is, 20 cents in the money in about 2 minutes. We turn bullish, we start buying. I actually buy more a little bit here on the way back upside through 20 or through 18. 97s was our price. Out here 07, out here 08, out a little bit at 02, as it looked like they wanted to break 18. Now we are breaking back downside 18. We have half of the position left, so it could turn out to be a loser. Our out is still going to be backside 69s down here. But I think Nikola's due for a little bit of a bump here. Let's just wait to see. Again, this is the trade. We always talk about this, and I've done it over and over again for you today, including many winners. Space was the same thing. As I look here, Workhorse we did not do. Beyond Meat was the same thing. It's just consolidation, right? We missed it on DraftKings. It just looks like, and I'll draw a little bit of a circle right here. Go, Nikola. A little bit of a thing here. We consolidate in this area, and then we start trading above, right? And so right here, that's the kind of break. I mean, I just randomly drew that, but this is the kind of break right here at 1787 that we were liking. So we were dipping in our toes there. We take a little bit more at 97. Our average price right now, 90. And we've already taken out a couple 15-cent winners there on Nikola. So let's hold that one. NEO, we got out again at 96. It's just bouncing its head. Keep going at 20 here. So now we're a little bit lighter, about 20 to 25% left of this initial position. We just took some out there. So that's why we're iffy on what's left. And I'm going to put some orders up here, 2004, 2005, so that when it breaks, we get that momentum to the upside on that. I do like the fade short, though. Like, you can put on shares now and play off this 20. It's just, it can crush that 20 in no time flat. So you got to watch out for that one, but it looks like it's resisting. So NEO right now, a good trade. Nikola's only 8 cents in the money, but I think this one's well worth the risk. And like Neil said, it's 11:30, so I don't expect the market to go crazy right now. But if it does, I think we have Nikola, which is a good one.
Yeah, and there's some size on Sorrento. So very similar to that 20 area that you saw on a NEO there on the Sean's level 2. You can see the same thing. A little bit smaller here on Sorrento, but it does, half the volume. So relatively speaking, it's pretty good. 100,000 shares at 11.50. I've already taken the scalp breakout. We had the 35 in front of that 50, so I'll take the 10 cents off, a couple of legs out there. But I'm going to add to it. If it breaks 11.50, I'm going to jump into some more shares long, like I showed you guys with the higher time frame. Look, I like this break. If it even pulls back, I'll probably test it again in the 15 to 25 range, buying on that little dip. So a couple of ways I can add to it, of course, dipping down or even taking the breakout. Both. I'll have a stop order for the long. I'll wait to see it consolidate before I jump in. I'm not just going to throw orders on the bid on the way back in, guys. But I do like that idea on Sorrento. Still hanging on for dear life in WWR and JE, but also with INO, which Of the positions I have on, probably the one that is showing the most, I guess I'm short, so strength against the move here. I was able to get some shares out for a 10-cent win. You can see I do have some orders layered to the bottom here. If it does slide to the downside, can't let it go past 12.20. It is starting to show some strength, a bit of a battle happening at the even dollar. It is holding negative on the session after having a nice little move. And we traded this yesterday on a breakout at 12, which was a good one, guys. But the fact that it couldn't sustain that move up, holds lower, the pause of the trial there. I just feel like it's a good spot here below that 12 and 12.10 area. This is exactly where it closed yesterday at 12.14. That's why we're playing in front of it. I mean, I can't believe it's 11:30 already. This has sort of gone fast, very, very fast for us. But what I haven't seen is any kind of a crazy moonwalk action. That must mean that we haven't hit the target for the likes. I don't know what to tell you. Sean's had some big winners, of course, that we've had on. We've had a lot of fun on the show so far. I see him hydrating over there with Valeria. How are we doing with the likes? Are we going to get to see the astronaut graphic before we hit the end of the show?
Neil, I'm so glad you asked because we need traders' support as never. We are not even at 1,500 likes, so guys, please show your love and smash the like button.
Smash the like button like Mike Tyson is going to smash Roy Jones' face. Roy Jones was a great fighter. I shouldn't say, I'm a boxing fan and he was one of the best in his day, but I just feel like this is a bad idea because Mike Tyson seems to be taking this a little bit seriously, and we'll see how it goes, obviously. I do want to jump back over to one other position here, JE. Kind of finding a bid, if you want to call it that, at 635. I'm still hanging on. I'm not going to get out of this short. It's going to have to test back to like 7 even before this even threatens me, guys. So I like this JE short. I'm going to hang on to it. INO is the one that probably concerns me at least a little bit here. And NIO, I don't know why I said it and didn't do it, Sean, but if you did that 98.99 scalp, you're already taking 5-10 cents, no problem. Thank you, guys. We just got to 1,500, and there is the moonwalk. 500 away from 2K. That's the real number.
Yeah, and we did talk about, Neo up there at that level, and that's why we dumped, man. We dumped even more there at 97 on the way back down. So, yep, it was an easy short. We called that. I was just not praying. I mean, we're basically out now. We have exactly now, actually, 10% left. We were just waiting to see if a 20 broke, but you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 or so outs, 97, 98s, and 96s there. So a good little trade. I still think it can go, but we'll wait on it. And again, backside trade here on Nikola. We love the short. I've tweeted it out numerous times. Got a lot of love from you guys, so thank you on that. But now I switched up the game. You can see now with the red. So these are all buys downside, and then there's the red ticks to give you an indication that we're selling now, not going short. If it's your first time watching the show, welcome. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. But if you ever see Neil or I with purple triangles pointing down, that's going to mean a short sell. So we're short, we're short, we're short, and then all of these are covers. You already know about that. We blew people's ears off, apparently. Then right down here, 1788. These are going back longs. This was a cover of my short. Then I told you when we switched up long. And then anything red now would be a sell into our current long position. So I'll give you another story here on Nikola. They're going to review that GM story tonight, right? So you know what? You could wake up tomorrow and this thing could be 19 or 20. What up, be?
A couple of names we were looking at yesterday, guys, some of the shippers, and I mean FedEx, UPS type shippers. FedEx to the upside now 3%. We had a big washout at the open, but just breaking 2 fresh day highs here. We're coming back up to that 260 area on the daily time frame. If I flip over real quick to the other one, UPS, yeah, same story. We're trying to break back to day highs here, but only 0.3% for UPS, FedEx leading, but those were both among the leaders yesterday. So starting to see some buying coming back in, guys.
Seeing some buying, and a shout out to one of our viewers here that I saw Peloton come across the screen in 100. So I know that it broke. I knew that it broke last week at $100 and then failed to break, comes all the way back into 88. And here we are a couple of sessions ago testing, or a couple of sessions later, testing that same 100 even area. Probably shook some people out there to the long side. So that break does look enticing to me through it's 150 if you go to last week's high. Right now 100 and change is the high of day. So I'd probably give it to that 50 mark just to make sure it sustains through. Roll over here, I mean, that's going to be a heck of a short if it gets back below, I'd say like 98 half, 99. That's going to be a short that I can't ignore. So a couple of ideas here in Peloton. I know it's lunchtime. Not always the best for breakout trades. but it's going to be hard to ignore Peloton through 150 for me, 98.5, let's call it, to the downside. So, bracket there makes a lot of sense. I would just temper some expectations given the time of day. But the opportunity definitely there. Good shout out to Massey, I think, one of our guest traders of the day, former guest trader of the day, bring Peloton to my attention. That's why we love the community, guys. I hadn't even looked at Peloton, and then immediately it didn't have that alert for 100, and there we get it. Grow the community. You can't watch and trade everything. Literally impossible unless you're Brendan. But we got a good one there. Thanks a lot for that. Here comes Sorrento. 1150 break could be happening any second as well.
And we'll do some we'll do a little wink here because I gave you guys this Nikola trade. And there's 20 pennies. So Nikola right now, top stock here for us today. Oh, and I just want to show you guys this quote. Of course, this is from Insta, but everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So there it is. There's Mike Tyson here, just knocking somebody out. This is from a while ago, June 26th there on Insta. So I just want to give that quote to you guys. I think it's important that if you're a trader, you look at some of those. It's very nice to understand that, hey, look, not only in trading are there back and forths, but you do have to be prepared and have a plan in whatever you are doing. And there's Nikola back to the upside there. We've taken out some. Look, it's 20 cents in the money. I think it can go even further than that, but we are right there at that VWAP. So we are going to take some out for sure. And there it is, APM, getting some love from A-Rob. A-Rob was on our chat, on our guest trader, actually. There, Alan, I believe that's going to be Alan Robinson anyways. B-Dog and V on the APM watch list call out. You are 100% right. That's on our watch list. Watchlist.tradertv.live. Also, Dupree Johnson, what up, my man? Thank you for becoming a member as well and supporting the show. We definitely love everybody there, and we'll continue to make this money for you. Hopefully, if you can take our trades, that's fantastic. Nikola right now, 20 cents in the money, and then Neo bouncing around this 90 level, and it's trying to get going here. Look at the speed. Yesterday during our Q&A, we did have that. That was a big success as well. More to come on that, but we talked about, are you looking at price action? And I talked about you want to just see what's happening here on the time and sales and see sort of how fast this is moving. If you guys have direct access or just even a live time and sales, if something's slow, there's not going to be that much interest in it, but we do watch Neo here picking up some volume and look, making that move back to 20. Let's see if 20 does break here, Brendan.
Just seeing a couple of these little teeny tiny small cap recent high flyers popping up here. Candy Technologies, the first one here, KNDI, now 7%. Big volume coming into this one. I'll flip over real quick to IGC, India Global, 6% recent volume coming into these. So some of the small caps getting some attention, guys.
And continuing to get attention, Sorrento, Peloton does break, so I grab that long as well. That 98.50 can become a downside stop for us there. SRNE, it breaks that 50 level. Like I said, first scalp was at 35. It breaks 50. I would just get back into position and then take another 12 cents out. So sort of rinse and repeating that trade. Of course, you could have just held on to your 35 long through 50 and have essentially the same trade. But for me, when I see that size in level 2, just like on NIO, if it does turn the stock, I was looking to buy on the dip. That doesn't happen. Fair enough. I will now take some more shares out on the way to 11.75. Won't be going long through 11.75. I'll probably hold some of the positions through that price and look for a move up to 12 even on SRNE. This was a break that we liked on the higher time frame, so hanging on to it a little bit the same way we're hanging on to that JE short trade. It did just sort of a hold like a 625 level. I got some more shares out. I talked about those quarters, so I took some more shares out of 625. 6 even. If it gets to that price, I will be all done with JE unless it retests that 7 level, and I can short one more time. Brendan, what do you got?
Apologies if you guys have mentioned this already, but Peloton just broke 100. So it's been kind of struggling there all morning long, but finally just popped above 100. Right back down, though, on big volume, guys.
And what's not been mentioned by Brendan lately, but mentioned by me here, has been Nikola. So there it is. It's hot dog winter time again, man. This is a 29-cent win. And not only that, man, like, look at 1, 2, 3, 4 in. So you know it's decent shares. And I told you we were going to try to take that shot on Nikola, and we did. It breaks above VWAP, and we take that out. I really hope you guys have that with us as well. Yeah, Brendan, Neil mentioned it. He's long, I think, above 100. So we'll wait to see what Peloton's doing for that one. Again, you got to give that one some room. Neo here, back to 20. And this is what we're talking about. Right back to the upside here. Let's see if it breaks. It's having a little bit of a hard time. And see ya. Boom! Nice little trade there. We hit the bangers. Look where we get out on the upside right there. Threes, fives, it rips to 6, it rips to 8 right there. We called that. It doesn't get much prettier than that. So there it is, backflip central. Not only did we educate you there, but that call I told you, once it rips through 20, you're not going to see anything until at least 3 or 4. And yeah, it goes all the way to 9er on that one. So now we have 25-cent win here on Nikola. Just took out 30 pennies on it actually, and then another 25-cent win on Neo. Sorry guys, this is how we're doing it.
Sorry. Why are you sorry for that? I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me. You got to be happy with those. But I want to jump back to one other name for me. We talked about winning trades, but I want to go back for anyone that didn't watch. This is a loser worth looking at because I believed in the PED short. This is another one of those retracement plays. Had a level I was working off of, very much similar to JE. It's the same structure of trade that worked out for me on JE, but it made a push right at the open before halting up. I took it out before that halt. I would have taken out when it halted. I wouldn't have been involved. And it's going to be a great trade. If you shorted back into it at 2 or if you held through, yes, you would have a winner. But this sort of goes to discipline. When some of these names we've seen, whether it's SPI, whether you go way back and it's Kodak or Hertz, when they start to go parabolic, is it worth it being caught in a series of halts when you're shorting at like $1.80 and the next thing you know it's at $3, $4? I don't think so. So I'm going to be out of this one and then sort of take the pain, take the hit. It's one of my, I'm down on PED. I'm slightly down as well on INO. That could get interesting if it breaks 12.20. I'm still shorting it, however. But this one, I had to give it up, and it's more of just the risk reward is not there if it goes parabolic off the open. I would rather take my chance at trying to get back in. You miss it, it is what it is. You live to fight another day, which is far more important, in my opinion. Peloton, I'm going to go back to the higher time frame just to give you an idea. If you're taking the top off here, certainly you think there could be a shot to go to 105 and 110. I'm giving it, and we'll go to the 15-minute here so you can see, I'm giving it, like I already said, to 98.50, so it's worth a couple of dollars worth of risk to start seeing if you can't win 3, 5, and then $10 to the upside. That would be the idea here for me. It's not the best in terms of time of day, but a break is a break, and it's a significant one here in Peloton if it can sustain it. Brendan, what do you got?
Yeah, significant to say the least. $100 for Peloton, pretty amazing. I mentioned that Candy Technologies, KNDI, there is a little bit of a catalyst here, so we did get that pop through 7 on big time volume there, up 8.5% now. This Water Tower Research, so they have a virtual, what they call a fireside chat. It's like a podcast type of thing. The CEO from Candy Technologies is going to be on this fireside chat that they have to discuss their current and going forward U.S. strategy. So a little bit of a catalyst possibly for KNDI, guys.
The question for me is, did Billions steal the fireside chat from them, or did they steal it from Billions? So have they been doing it before? I don't even know when Billions is coming back. It's an entertaining show, to say the least. I mean, everyone has their own opinions on how real it is. Probably not that real, but who cares? I like watching it because it's fun. JE, I like shorting it because it makes money. It's heading down towards that 6 even price. So like I always try to say, you try to look for those perfect trades. I'm not going to look gift horse in the mouth. I'm out. It just gave me the fill at 6.08 there. Actually, look, it's not exactly at 6 even, but that was the plan the whole way through. You're going to see this come all the way from like $10 on the reverse split. And then, oh my gosh, it's already down 30%. How can you be shorting this stock? Again, it's just not a heck of a lot of reason to be buying this name. It's been under pressure the entire time, and you get that momentum, especially on a reverse split. If it does start to hold some resistance, and again, you get the flush off the open, tries to retest, fails at 740. Once it's below $7, I'm like, I have an obvious psychological area and a bit of a pre-market bottom to work off of. I'm short as long as it holds below. It goes $1 on the move. I get just slightly less than that because I was shorting in the 80s and the 90s. But either way, great trade on JE. Could also have traded in Toronto, but now that it's above $1, didn't make a heck of a lot of sense. And there was no advantage to trading at that price if you're in Toronto. If it was a penny stock, there is some advantages to be trading when it's a half-cent spread instead of a tenth of a cent at a time. A little bit more of a clean trade, but a good one again here on JE to the south side.
I can't believe Sorrento's going upside so much. I did want to give a shout out to our friends over here at NASDAQ. Since masks are all the rage NASDAQ mask right here. We also have a Trader TV Live mask over at my desk, but I did want to give a shout out to my friends over there at the NASDAQ. Thanks for hooking a brother up. Okay, Nikola out there at 1825. You see what's happened. The market has fallen back to the downside, so we still have 30% of this coming back in. So we'll have to watch out for Nikola right here at 1790 coming back in. NIO, man, what an out up there. Wow. Breaks that 20. Out. Now I'm holding 2% of the position left as it comes crashing back down. I might as well just get out of that one, but the market here definitely pulling back in. So let's pick some stocks up if we can on value. Sorrento today was a nice little trade going long at 11 and cashing everything out up here, but we did miss that big move, which just happened to the upside. So I want to give everybody an attention on that one. And yeah, Nikola still trying to hold this bottom here. 1769 is what I'm going to hold it out for, guys.
Yeah, I just want to quickly jump back to, I completely neglected this trade. You talked about bottom picking. That reminded me, Sean, I did take American Airlines. It's not doing a heck of a lot, but it is testing lower. The market is trending to the downside, so it is testing towards that 12.25. I picked it up at 34. You're going to risk about 10 cents here. And again, it was a bit of a bottom pick. There was no news that we could find specifically about American. It headed a couple of legs to the downside. That's why I picked it up on the way back up. It looks like it's not going to work. So I said INO was going to threaten to be the next losing stock for me. Of course, I just showed you PED, guys. But AL could also be a bit of a losing trade if it does break that low a day. I said 12 quarter, 12.24 is actually the low. Either way, I'm going to be stopped out if it breaks and makes a fresh low of the day. Peloton, position pending. I'm giving that one back to like 98.50. It's holding the top so far. Let's see if it can't get going. But counter trend of the market and time of day, not always the best for breakouts. That could also be the case here.
Yeah, we just took Peloton there at 73. So let's see. Bounced off at 50. We waited for some confirmation to go long. So we are now long Peloton. Let's see how high this one wants to go. We'll get out if it does come back to day's high. But with the market rallying now maybe off this drop down, that's kind of what has gotten me into Peloton. The market down. We do like the name. Obviously, it's up 3%. The $100 is a very, very key level. I think it's been up here before for sure. If I can just refresh this to a NASDAQ chart. Hopefully, again, we have over 63 markets here. Yep, it's been here twice before, just like we thought. So, and both times came back down. This was on earnings, and then Amazon and Apple and all those fun companies released, competitor products. But I told you that does not matter. I hope you guys pick some up down here in the 80s. I did not, but this is when I was sort of saying it was maybe a buy time here on Peloton. So we'll see, man. It's already been up here. I think this is worth the risk. I'm only going to give it probably to about VWAP or so, 99.25 back down to the downside on Peloton. So we'll do that one. Oh, you know what was ripping up like crazy this morning? And Brendan actually didn't give us any news on it. And I think it's just because the social media space has been so hot fire. Look at this Twitter move off the open, man. 44.20 all the way to 45.50. And it's interesting because if we look yesterday, or I think it was a couple days ago, we've absolutely crushed Twitter recently. You did have a high here, 44.60. That's where we're struggling through. Oops, I'm on this ellipse. But if we move back over, here it is here. What is that high? 46.80. So still some room to run here on Twitter. The reason why we bring it up, it's kind of consolidating right here. And just wondering again, it's kind of looking like our Beyond Meat that we took and we won on. It's looking like our space, and it's looking a little bit like the Nikola that we won on, but it has to come back to this side right here. 44.80, guys. If we get to 44.80 today, we only have 10 minutes left, but if we get to 44.80, let's go long on Twitter. Otherwise, watch out for some consolidation back to 44. If it breaks 44, all aboard.
I just want to quickly jump in here. SRNE, Sorrento did come back to that 11.50 on a big-time snapback. I was looking to get some more shares out. Closer to 12 even, as I mentioned. If it broke 75, the next leg, I would wait for like a 12 even test. Didn't happen. It slides right back to break even, so it doesn't really stop me out because it doesn't travel further than 11.45. But I have to note that it did get a little bit more, not necessarily parabolic, but on volume, make a bit of a top here. Can be worth taking some more profits. I am long on the 50 break. Initially, of course, it was 30, 35, but then 50 is where I re-entered the position. I don't want that to go below this 11.45 mark. If it If it breaks that, I'll get out. Otherwise, I'm looking for a retest of the high. This time I will take it out around 70.75 if it goes again, or at least some of my shares with an 11.45 stop. Just want to make sure I give you guys a quick little update on Sorrento, because that was a little bit of a heavy pullback that you would have seen there on the chart. On volume, coming back 30 cents on Sorrento. I just want to make sure you guys were aware that it happened. Brendan, what do you got?
Just checking on VMware here, guys. Big pop on VMware, 2.5% on big time volume here. 145 up to 147.5, all in a flash there. So gonna double check on VMW, guys.
All right, VMware. We are now short here, NEO, but it's a small amount of shares. We're short at 68. We do take that break. You do see, again, we do talk about that. When you see a purple candle to the downside, it's not a candle, of course, it's just this little wick here. It's an arrow making moves down. It does break this little level here. So now I got to wait at 61 or 62 to see. We're going to get it out here, and it's not a big position, not nearly as big as these two were, but we're going to give it backside to about 74, 75. We just took some out 65, 66 there, short 68, but we're going to try to give this one all the way to back here, 61 or 62, see if we can't get a nice little wick to the downside there. Peloton finally going for us now, a nice little 25. Here we go, 30, 40, 50 cent winner, man. It all set up nicely for Peloton on the drop back downside. So we get in, 99.74 there. Wow, it rips to 111. This is not a bad spot to get out. Let's see if we can't take some out here just ahead of 25 and celebrate, guys. A 50 cent win there on Peloton. This has not happened yet, but let's see if we can cash it in. Brendan, what's up, bud?
This is about an hour ago. Might be more to come on this, guys, but VMware teaming up with NVIDIA on a AI tie-up with both of their technologies, it looks like. So possibly more to come, but big pop there on VMW to do with that. Possibly, guys.
And I literally had just mentioned that little bottom out there on SRNE on the pullback, and talked about taking some shares out around 75, got out at 76. Like 2 minutes later, it does make another run to the high of the day. Still have some at 52 when 50 broke. I'm going to hold those, like I said, till 12 even. If it goes in front of that price, like 90, 95, that'll be good enough for me. My stop is down around 11.45. So it's been an interesting ride here, because I did initially fade the move up on Sorrento off this pre-market level at 1090. It was a good short right into the bottom. You know, we take like a 72, obviously. If I catch it on the way down, it is what it is. You can get a better price if you're just willing to stand in front of the train. I don't. It's like a 20-cent win on that little bottom pick. Then accidentally get into a long a bit early and an 11 trigger, get out of it immediately. And then there was that initial breakout at 11.30. I take the hit as if that one pulls back in. And then jump in the second time, and the second time was much, much better. A lot of times it's almost like an opening range break as well. So you take that level for 11.30 from going back in the daily chart, and then it tests it one more time, tests it again, and then you get that break later on in the session where it's shaking a bunch of people out, and then it really starts to go. That's what ended up happening here. That's why you had to stick with it. And then at 11.50, of course, the secondary push to the upside. Much like NEO, there was just size at 11.50, so I took it all out and then got back in again. Now here's a push to 12. If it gets to like 90s or 95s, I'll happily take that trade. Nice little runner here on Sorrento. Hope you guys got a little bit of that party. As the market slides down, good to have a couple of longs that are working.
Yeah, and you want a long that's working. How about this one right now? It's Peloton, so falling down some money right now, a nice little 50-cent win here. Wait for it to come back in a little bit. We obviously get the market tanking down, so nice to see Peloton now going to be taking out that top. We were going to get out up here, but it's just too strong. You see the movements. Here we go, guys. 85 cents now in the money on Peloton, so still making that move to the high side. This probably right now is going to be all-time highs on Peloton. I don't think it got up this high on earnings, so let's just keep riding the wave. Higher, higher, higher. Guys, $1 winner. It's been a roller coaster on this one, but there it is. Putting Peloton in the pipe right there and smoking this stock. Let's go.
Yeah, I just got all out there on Sorrento. 93s, guys, so that'll be the last trade. It'll be 40 cents on the second push. If you had it from 30, it's a 60-cent move. It's a great trade. I was never even thinking about bottom picking down here. Like I said, I wasn't going long until it was at 11.30 break. Here goes 12 even, and much like 11.50, I'll quickly show you guys. Only a few minutes left to go. But once again, not a tremendous amount of size, but like almost 200,000 shares on the offer at 12. You saw it at 11.50. Could be worth a scalp trade if you like it. Peloton, as it pushes higher, I said $2, $3 first leg, looking for 5, and then look, even potentially could go higher than that in my opinion. I'm giving it to that 98.50, so risking a couple of bucks, trying to make 2 to 4, somewhere in that range, and then $5. But Sorrento, it might be a good out. again, it's sort of arbitrary, that $12, but it looks like it's trying to at least turn and anticipating sides. If I see it at 11.50, I figure we're going to probably see some at 12 even. That's exactly true. I'm all flat. I'm not going to be buying on the dip. Maybe if it comes all the way back to like 11 to 11.20, that'd be worth it, but I'm not buying on the dip to 11.50. If it fails at 12 even, I'll be very, very patient during lunchtime and stay away from Sorrento. You could scalp a 12 even break, maybe to like 10s and then 25, but I'll stay away till a pullback comes to 11 even if it does.
Only 5 minutes left, and let's just review some positions. Peloton, you already know about that one. You can have a couple hot dogs, then get on your bike. So here we go, Peloton, a nice little dollar upside there. We're cashing that. Maybe we'll get out soon. We don't know. Nikola right now, 7 cents in the money. It just banged through 18. Once again, we're still holding these. We gave you back downside to about 69 or so. Not going to give it all the way to this very bottom. We could, maybe I should at this point. I just don't want it to break through 50 on one of those crazy spikes. But right now, we'll see if Nikola can't go. I gave you that trade, so hopefully that'll happen for all of us. Peloton still, man, takes out, I think it's all-time highs. We are still bouncing around there. Maybe we'll put an order just shy of 101 and make sure we take up a little bit more than we need on that one. SRNE, a good trade. Apple's still red on the day, so watch out for that. Again, we're only a few hours away from the market to be closed, and then we got to wait to see some rhetoric that happens tonight. Definitely, guys, if you are interested in politics at all and what it could affect on the market, we'll be talking about the debate tomorrow. So if you wanted to watch that, definitely for sure. I've got my popcorn ready for that. It should be a fun one. 113 here on Apple. Again, we did have this wick down here, so I'll take it off the chart to see it a little bit better. But watch out for Apple. It could break this 113.50. But there goes Peloton, Neil. More than $1 in the money. So a banger to end the show right here, guys.
Yeah, and Sorrento keeps on going. Like I said, it's just something, it's a little bit arbitrary, that 12 even, but I like to put targets out to the upside to make sure that I'm taking profits. One of the things you can always do to get better is hang on to that little bit. So you always extend that further, but build upon profitable trading at first. I can already smell lunch. I guessed pasta, and apparently I'm right according to our floor manager there. So hopefully it'll be a little bit tasty. I do want to go back over to just one more name before I know we have to get out of here. And I said it might be, possibly could be a losing trade. It's not over yet. You can see I am short again in INO. My price is right here at 12 even. I'm giving it to about 12.20. It's staying and holding negative, at least for the time being, and the market is sliding down. All of that is in my favor. I also like the fact that even on that great break of 12, it came right back to that price and is now holding lower as another failed break above that 12 even level. So a couple of rejections on that breakout. You get the halt of their trial as well. So some negative news weighing on it. Let's see if we can't get this one down into that 11 even area with this short. But for now, looks like it's going to be sideways action. Before we get out of here, got to go to our good friend Brendan at the desk.
Yeah, a couple of minutes ago here, guys. Just watching a couple of names from the energy space here. Peabody Energy and Arch. BTU in New York and Arch as well. There was a deal. They're teaming up on some work together, but down significantly both on that news. Not a heck of a lot in the way of earnings, both aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow. Just Micron, so it is one, but a big one. Aftermarket tonight. So we'll get a look at some semiconductor activity tonight. But then, it's all signs point to go on Thursday as we get into the thick of earnings once again. Let's go over to Valeria, see what day it is today.
Thank you, Brendan, and hello, trading family. Thank you for another great day together. Your support means everything to us. Guys, for now, go watch our next video where I'm telling my story of how I came to Toronto from Russia and ended up at Trader TV Live. And I wish you an energetic rest of the day and happy coffee day, everyone.
Yeah, we were talking about that early. We got a whole bunch of my apps started blowing up. Free coffee at Tim Hortons, McDonald's, Starbucks, everything. So happy coffee day to all. So we'll raise our Trader TV cups and wish you guys a happy coffee day on that one. So yeah, if you don't like coffee, have some tea on this special day. Nikola, we just got out basically, and now we're waiting for this. Still $1 plus in the money. Always nice to have these big winners as we leave the show, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Arun when you give the tea look. I know he's a tea drinker. I like both, but it's got to be coffee for me. So I'll celebrate that day all day, every day there with coffee day. It's been a fun one, obviously, guys. It should be an exciting afternoon. Just a couple of things worth watching. Of course, Peloton, that breakout. trying to get through that 101 mark. I won't take anything to like 102s, INO on the move. Watch out for some of those parabolic stocks. Some of them are looking like they're shaping up for some moves in the afternoon. I wouldn't want to get caught short in some of these some lithium names that have been pushing. Be very, very careful when you are trading them. Valeria teed this one up, and she talked a bit about her journey, but she didn't do this. She didn't tee up the graphic. I know you guys want to see her pretty face there. We did all of our journeys, and there was a lot of requests to see how Valeria got to our show, how she came to Trader TV Live, and I know you guys appreciate everything she does, like we do as well. So make sure you check it out. I think it was a lot of fun watching her tape it. And there you go, a little flossing action as well. I don't know what that one's going to be about, but jump into our Market Wisdom channel. Valeria has a link to check out her journey. You know what time it is. It's time for us to get out of here. It's been a fantastic show. It is noon, time for us to grab a little bit of lunch here. Tune in, of course, the debates are going to be interesting tonight. Go Blue Jays, because I have to get that plug in there. They're up against it, against a very good team. But down the line, thank you, Valeria. Thank you, Sean Katina, as always, my good friend. And Brendan, always giving all the news very, very promptly there, and getting me into an American Airlines trade when there wasn't news, even though it didn't work out. We love everything he does for us there. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you tomorrow, guys.
See you.